Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rolling Forward podcast, a podcast of people who keep rolling forward no matter what life throws at them. Real people, real stories, powered by purpose, resilience, and a drive that never ends. I'm Zach Sikora. Spina bifida didn't stop me. It just gave me a better excuse to sit down while I take over the world. Today's funny shirt is a guy in a wheelchair saying sit to a dog and the dog saying walk back to the guy in the wheelchair. I got this off of Amazon. It is not one of my own, but you can get other funny shirts like this on my podcast, on my t-shirt store. It's called rollingforward.printful.me. If you do have a funny shirt idea, I'd love to hear it. Throw it in the comments and it might make it into the shop. Now, let's roll forward into today's episode with Zach. How you doing, Zach?
Hey there, how you doing? How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good, Zach.
I'm doing great myself, man. Thanks for having me come in.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to have you on. I just want to throw out we have 3 Zachs in the gym, and have you ever worked in or been in a setting with this many Zachs?
No,
No, I haven't either.
I'm the original Zach.
Yeah. Whoa, hey there.
I
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're older than all of us.
so I got to be original Zach.
I guess you are the original. Dang. All right. But I think I'm the only one that spells my name Z-A-C-K.
I spell mine with an H.
Yeah. Well, real quick side note, maybe a funny story to start is I spell my full legal name Z-A-C-H-A-R-Y. I assume you do
okay.
too?
Yeah.
And so in kindergarten, we were learning phonics, or first grade or whatever.
Yeah.
We were learning phonics, and all my friends saw Zach, Z-A-C-H, and they started calling me Zach.
Zach.
Yeah.
They was calling me Zach.
Yeah. And I hated it so much that I started spelling my name Z-A-C-K.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And so it's just stuck with me ever since. I haven't changed it back or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Z-A-C-H-A-R-Y is still my legal name, but I was done with people calling me Zach. So
What's this alphabet that's silent?
I know, right? Like, why is it Zach instead of why is the ch sound for Zach?
They made the English
Zach.
so hard.
Yeah, they sure did. It was crazy. So anyway, I'm really excited to have you on. You are a trainer at the gym that I train at. You specifically specialize in boxing, and I see you train people all the time. You've also been a boxer yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you. Like, give us a 10,000-foot view of who you are and what you're about.
So, well, I actually grew up in the boxing world. I'm very well respected in the Cincinnati area. I'm born here and raised here in Cincinnati. And I boxed with the Cincinnati Golden Gloves.
Okay.
I actually officially started in the 90s. So I had a late start in my boxing career. As I practiced young and wanted to become a boxer when I was younger. But you got your parents who wanted to save you from any damage that they've done seen other people go through, other boxers go through. For example, Muhammad Ali, Parkinson's,
Right.
and Joe Frazier, and so they.
Wait, you said
they
Muhammad
would-
Ali Parkinson's?
Well, they said he had Parkinson's, and they would assume that he probably got it maybe from
Getting
being
hit in the
punched,
head.
getting hit in the head. Could be, that's not a fact, but
Sure. I didn't know
You know,
that. I didn't know that that was even a consideration that you get Parkinson. You could get Parkinson's from getting hit in the head too much. Interesting.
so, but regardless of that, it's the damage that you can get.
Yeah.
That you can end up having later on after your wars.
Mhm.
Is so many years in the gym, and so yeah, man, my parents wanted to protect me from that, and so they wouldn't let me box when
Mm.
I was younger.
Mm.
But it was always a desire for me to fight, to box.
Uh-huh.
And when I got of age to make my own decision like that,
How old was that?
and then I did it at, well, I can make my own decision when I turned 18.
Yeah,
But
yeah, sure.
but I didn't do it until I was like 20,
Oh,
20 years old.
okay.
And I decided to go ahead. I actually ran into a friend who was boxing, and he invited me to one of his fights.
Yeah.
It was a Golden Glove tournament he was in, and he actually, I think I inspired him to whip the guy as good as he did
Okay.
because he asked me to come and see him fight. So I think that like
Oh,
fired him up,
yeah.
and he really like did a domination on this other guy.
Mhm.
And so from that point, he introduced me to his coach. And anywhere in the boxing world, and locally here in Cincinnati, might know the coach by the name of Ricardo Williams Sr.
Okay.
And so and his son is Ricardo Williams Jr., who was a 2000 Olympian.
Wow.
And so I was trained by him along with Michael Stafford, who is Adrien Broner's world champion. Adrien Broner's coach. Michael Stafford passed away, but I was trained by them guys,
Yeah.
and I started off boxing like about 20 years old,
Yeah.
and that's when my amateur boxing career officially started. I always boxed out in the streets. We call it like slap boxing.
Okay.
You know,
Gloves or no gloves?
no gloves,
Oh,
slap
wow.
slap boxing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
slap boxing. We would
Got
hit
it.
it, or we would do a thing called like hard to the body.
Yeah.
So we would have our bare knuckles,
Mhm.
one punch in the face, but we'll go
Hard on the
very
body.
hard on the body.
Yeah.
And
Now, when you slapped, was it hard slaps or was it like
they weren't real hard slaps, but they was
you back?
slaps like it was slaps like it was I touched you, I could have got you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
slap boxing we called it.
Mhm.
But the body shots, now those was real.
Yeah.
So when we go like hard to, we agree, come on, let's box. We'd be outside on the street corner or whatever like that, and then we decide to box. Or we might be at school
Yeah.
and we go in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and then all the kids and stuff, surround up in the bathroom. Oh, they about to get it going. Oh, yeah, oh,
Did you ever get
whatever.
caught by the
And
teachers?
no, we ain't never get caught by the teachers, man. We
Oh,
we never got caught by the teachers. We made it discreet. We went in the bathroom.
wow.
We made it discreet, and we used to go at it. But I learned a lot of my friends were boxers.
Mhm.
You know, and so they would teach me.
Yeah.
They would teach me, what they knew how to. They would teach me how to box,
Yeah.
but I couldn't actually go to the gym and learn from the professional
Got it.
coaches.
Yeah.
I had to pick it up from
Right.
the other kids.
When you
Yeah.
when you first got into boxing, what were your parents' reaction?
They were nervous about it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they was nervous about it. They didn't want me to do it, but they wanted me to pursue my dreams.
Yeah.
It was my decision.
Mhm.
And eventually they started backing me, and they started saying that I was doing, well.
Yeah.
All your parents get anytime you get in the ring. I
Mhm.
mean, anytime. I mean, even world champions, the parents still get like nervous,
Of course.
you know. And so that never goes away, but they do have hope that you win
Yeah.
and that you be safe.
Mhm.
And so I would pray myself
Yeah.
before I even go to the gym just to practice
Yeah.
that I do a 100% job and I do well, and me and my boxing foes be okay at the end of the night. So
Mm.
we can come back the next day, practice again, and do it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So then, like, where did you get with your boxing career?
What did I get?
Yeah, how far did you go and how long did you
Oh,
do it and
okay.
all
So
that?
Yeah. I actually went. So when I started, let me see. I actually started in 97, 98, 99, then 2000 hit. So I actually started like I think like in 97,
Okay.
1997.
Okay.
And my goal was to try to make it to the 2000 Olympics.
Oh, wow.
So I was trying to, go
Was that
along.
was that ambitious? Like I play wheelchair tennis and all that, and
Right.
I can it I can see it being extremely difficult from just in 3 years making it to the Paralympics. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine when the able-bodied world, the competition's more fierce. There's a lot more people. So you wanted to make 2000 Paralympic the 2000 Olympics. You're not disabled for the record. Anybody out there? You are able-bodied, and it's such a habit for me to say Paralympics
Yeah.
because yeah, that's
Yeah.
my world. Anyway,
Um, but yeah, man, I, I was, that was my goal to try to make it to the Olympics. I
mhm,
had a lot of ambition, a lot
yeah,
of, drive. I think, what, I was surrounded by great talent. Cincinnati is known for boxing, man.
yeah,
Cincinnati is known for boxing, man. We bring we bring champions out in twos. And
yeah.
what I mean by twos, for example, in the year 2000, we had two we had two Olympians. I hope I'm not missing one, but we had two Olympians. That was Ricardo Williams Jr. and Dante Craig.
Okay,
All right. Ricardo Williams Jr., he was a silver medalist. Dante Craig, he made it to the Olympics. Even if you just make it to the Olympics, you done something very, 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 very accomplished. You
right,
accomplished some
of
stuff. If you
course,
even just made it to the Olympics,
right,
I ain't talking about placing. If you just made it,
yeah,
you know. But anyway, 2004 came around. We had two more. So we the only city that's been able to produce like send out like two Olympians
yeah,
up out of the same city
yeah,
and one during that Olympic time,
mm,
2000, 2004.
right,
And I think we did it in 2000. I think we did it in 2008.
yeah. So did you make it to the
I
Olympics?
never made no, I
Okay,
never made it to the Olympics. I never made it to the Olympics.
how close did you
Um,
come?
when 2000 came and everybody, well, my that era of boxers that I came up with, I decided because remember I started late. I started like when I was 20 something. So my
Yeah,
decision was, I could stick around and
mhm,
try again for another 4 years.
mhm,
Um, but I didn't want to do that. I
mm,
wanted to go with my friends
mhm,
and turn professional.
mm.
And so I went ahead and turned. Well, before I did that, I ended up jumping in a few of them meanest man and tough man contests,
Oh,
and
okay.
so I could dominate that real quick.
Oh,
so
interesting.
so I did that. I did that first.
Wait, so in the Toughman contest, I'm not sure I know much about that. Is that just boxing or is
And
that
it's
full
just
MMA?
no, it's just boxing.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just boxing.
okay.
And so
So you did that for a little bit, and then you went pro?
and then I went ahead and went pro.
Wow.
And so and then, so with that being said, me going pro, I once you're a pro, you're always a pro.
Okay,
Like there's no turning back after
sure.
that.
It's like riding
Even yeah,
is it like
even
riding a bicycle kinda thing? And
well, what I'm saying is once you turn pro, a professional fighter,
mhm,
even if you retired,
mhm.
like right now,
Yeah,
if if the um if the commissioners and stuff would allow me to come back,
yeah.
I'm 51. I haven't boxed in
You do not look
a
51.
long time, right? And
Mhm.
thank you, man. I haven't boxed in a long time.
Yeah.
So the commissioners probably wouldn't let me back in there
Uh-huh.
to box again.
Yeah.
But if I decided to box again and they would, I can only box as a professional. I couldn't go
Oh,
back to no
oh,
amateur.
you can't drop
No,
down.
you can't drop down. So you always a professional.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the professional world works.
Yeah.
But I had six fights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like 4-2,
Okay.
and it was a fun ride, man. One of my biggest wins was as far as a professional. It was an upset. Roy Jones, you know Roy Jones,
Yeah.
Roy Jones.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they had they had a fighter up, you know, in their stable,
Mm-hmm.
and they called me down there. What was that? Well, they called me down there, down to Florida, Pensacola, Florida, to fight one of their fighters.
Yeah.
We did catch weight. This was at 168 pounds.
Uh-huh.
We did a catch weight at like 170.
Okay.
All
What's
right,
catch weight for those that don't know?
catch. Yep. So catch weight means the other guy agrees, and I agree to meet in the middle because he can't get down to
Ah,
168,
okay.
and so to keep the fight going, we call it a catch weight. Like, look, 170,
Yeah.
and we agree,
Right.
and then we both say yes. Then the fight goes on.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a catch weight.
Yeah.
So and then I upset him. So it was a beautiful thing. I mean,
Nice.
I worked a good month and a half of training camp for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had guys coming down from Texas to, spar with me, to work with me. And, I was dropping people to the body all throughout the camp. And I mean, I was on fire, man. I had some of the
Yeah.
best small partners, man. Uh, I had some of the best small partners. I give a shout out to a few of them that helped me out. Uh, Johnny Rudolph. Um, he was a welterweight, but real strong.
What division? What class were
He-
you in? Or
I was
division? Is
I,
that what
I
they
was
call it?
super middleweight. I was fighting super middleweight,
Okay. And
and
what
I had
what weight is that?
168.
Okay. Like you have to like it's 168. There's no like 168 to 170 or
Remember the catch weight?
yeah.
So 170.
Oh, that's the highest that you can
Well,
be.
we agree. No, yeah. For
Okay.
the catch weight,
Okay.
so you got to be. So we was fighting at super middleweight,
Mm-hmm.
168.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy couldn't get down there,
Got it. Got it. Okay.
so we agreed on a catch weight of 170.
Okay. Got
So
it.
I can gain. Well, anybody can gain weight as long as you lose. As long as you make 168,
Yeah.
you can gain
Right. After the
almost as
fact.
much weight as you
Yeah.
want to, like
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And so so that's what happened. Get back to the camp. We just had an awesome. I had an awesome camp, man. And
Yeah.
then we went out there and we upset it. We upset the guy.
That's
It was
awesome.
it was beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, with that being said,
Was it a knockout or was it?
no, it was a majority decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a majority decision. Um,
Have you ever
but
knocked someone out?
I knocked people out before.
Yeah.
I've been knocked out before.
Have you? How many
But
times?
yeah. 1, 2, 3. Now, maybe three times that I can remember.
Yeah.
Twice. Okay, I'm gonna say 4, but
Okay.
twice in my amateur career, and I had over 95 amateur fights.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, before I decided to
GoPro.
go pro.
Okay.
Um,
What do you know what your record with in the amateur was?
I don't remember. I had
Yeah.
more losses. I had more. I said losses. No, I don't. Scratch that. Yeah. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I had more wins than I had losses.
Okay.
But let me see. I'm a regional Golden Glove champion. I am a national Golden Glove participant. So that was one of the tournaments that I came up short. I got knocked out in that.
Yeah.
One else.
Okay.
Yeah. um,
So we're real quick. We'll get into a little bit more of your boxing career and all
Okay.
that. So let's fast forward just a little bit.
okay.
So what time when did you retire from boxing, and then what'd you transition to?
So I retired. I retired from boxing when I was 30, 30, like 39.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
39, 38, 39. Um,
you're
and,
coaching
s-
now.
and so, yeah.
Did you
So, go ahead.
yeah, so did you immediately transition into coaching or
I, uh, well, yes, I'm going to say yes.
okay.
Um, but I didn't take it on as like I was just helping.
Yeah.
So I didn't consider myself like a coach.
Yeah.
I still consider myself as a fighter. I
Right.
just wasn't getting no fights.
Right.
And then I wasn't really like trying to pursue and get fights.
Yeah.
I just end up just organically, I just start helping coaching.
Right.
And then I end up, you just end up getting the title as a coach. Everybody just call you coach.
Yeah.
Coach Zach. And then you just accept what it is,
That's awesome.
And so that's what I mean by like organic. It's just, I'm just playing my role as helping people out. So basically it wasn't it wasn't anything like, hey man, I want to be a coach, what I got to go through so I can be a coach.
Yeah. So
It
you
it
never
wasn't no
aspired.
application. It wasn't no application I need to fill out, or it wasn't none of that.
Yeah.
It's just I'm helping the other kids out. I'm
Mhm.
helping other professional fighters out,
Mhm. Did
and
you
that's what I
aspire?
kept doing.
Did you aspire to be a coach? Did you ever want to be?
No,
No. Okay. Interesting.
I just wanted to, like I said, I keep going back to the word organically, right?
Mhm.
Grandfathered in, if you want to use that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for like a word. Um, I just do what I love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to train. I still train. I still train with the
Sure.
mentality of a like I'm a fighter. I can
Okay.
still spar.
Mhm.
Now I'm not gonna go in there and go for a fight.
Mhm.
Them days over with. I
Right.
accepted that. I'm good
Right.
there. But I can still go in there and stay sharp,
Mhm.
spar with guys. That's the closest I get to a real fight is
Yeah.
sparring.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
I
so
stay over here in my coaching lane.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so how long you been coaching now?
Ah, over over 20 years, man.
Nice. Okay, now's a good time to shout out your business and what
Oh,
it's called and all that.
okay. All right. All right. All right. So, I run a business called Boxercise, powered by the Cincinnati Trainer.
Yeah. All right.
Um, and I actually came up with the Cincinnati Trainer just playing with the name.
Yeah.
Um, I was coaching a guy who used to play football for UC.
Mhm.
Um, I was coaching a guy who was playing football for UC. I was working with a guy. Well, I was working with the coach. His name was Rob Rafford.
Mhm.
He's a professional boxing coach, also MMA coach,
Mm.
and he was one of my coaches also during my professional career.
Mhm.
One of my coaches. But anyhow, he ran a boxing fitness gym. Like I said, well, did I tell you what it's called? Boxing for fitness.
Yeah, okay.
And he would run classes and he would he would allow me to help him catch mitts. So
Mm.
meaning focus mitts for all the fighters in there.
Sure. Mm.
And anybody who's through there training and working out. I would
Okay.
do all the mitt work. And that's how I learned how to what we call catch mitts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyhow, the guy by the name, I'll shout his name, that's all good. His name Danny.
Uh-huh.
He he came through there from he weighed about 200 and no, he weighed about 300 pounds.
Mhm.
He played for UC as a foot on the football team. He was a business major, and he came through Rob Rappert gym for a during his off season
Mhm.
so he could stay in shape. So when it was time for him to play again,
Yeah.
you know. he been doing something,
Okay.
right? And so with that being said, that's how me and Danny met.
Mhm.
And I start training him. He fell in love with the boxing. Me and him became really good friends.
Mhm.
And I taught him how to even put his headgear on. And he put his headgear on backwards.
Yeah, you can pull it closer to you if you want. There you go.
He put his headgear on backwards.
Yeah.
And so, but that was the beginning of him. It is a beautiful story. I'll go into a little bit. I'm not gonna go real far with it, but I will go into a little bit because it's a really amazing story.
Okay.
So I just started working with him. I worked with him for a whole year.
Mhm.
And I got him down from that 300 something pounds. He was weighing down to like 225.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And I got him his first fight.
Mm.
I got him his first fight. He fought a guy who was like, we had 10 fights up under him. It was an amateur fight, but 10 fights up under him. And I told him, when you fight this guy, all we're gonna use is the 1-2.
Mm.
That's a jab and a straight right hand.
Yeah.
I said, all we're gonna use is the 1-2 on this guy.
Yeah.
You just jab. When you ready to throw the right hand, you throw the right hand. You ain't gotta do all the extra stuff that we was been like trying to practice. Just use this.
Mhm.
He did exactly what I said. And he stopped the guy in the second round.
Wow.
He had all his friends. He was so happy. And from that point on,
When you say stop, that means knocked out,
knocked
right?
out. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the guy wasn't cold knocked out,
Mhm.
but the referee
He's
stopped the
stumbling.
contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we call that a knockout, TKO.
Yeah.
But from that point on, it was like sky's the limit for the guy. We
Mhm.
stayed together. I mean, if you seen him, you seen me. I was training him like crazy, and he was running around doing a whole lot of upsetting
Yeah.
a lot of fighters. He made it to number 2 ranked the in the state,
Wow. Of Ohio?
in the nation. Is that the
Oh,
nation?
in
Yeah,
the
in the
nation?
United States.
Yeah, yeah.
In the
Okay.
United
Oh,
States.
in the States.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the
I thought you
United
said in
States.
the state. My bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're
But
good.
yeah, man, but he did that. He almost made they got a thing called Operation Gold. Like when
Mhm.
you go into the Olympics,
Mhm.
they trying to pick they're trying to pick their Olympic team.
Yeah.
And so you go through these stages. So they had a thing called Operation Gold,
Uh-huh.
and they're trying to find all these representatives that's going to represent in these different weight classes for the United States
Yeah.
on the Olympic team.
Mhm.
And so I helped him get there. He didn't make the Olympics either, but that was a far stretch.
Mm.
I mean, so he got up there, man. He was a really smart man. He listened to me a lot, and he took advantage of the things that I was telling him,
Yeah.
and it was materializing for him, man. A lot of stuff was manifesting for him. They would pay him
Mhm.
so he can go to camp, and all he had to do was just concentrate on getting better and winning fights and trying to make it on the Olympic team.
Right.
And they would pay him every month.
Mhm.
It was a really beautiful thing.
Quick question
ahead.
for you. So he was number 2 in the US.
Yeah.
How does someone like that not make the Paralympic or the Olympics? Gosh.
Well, I mean, it's certain tournaments and stuff that you end up having to fight in. And then if you
Yeah.
lose,
Got it. Okay.
you know,
That's kind of what I suspected, but I wasn't sure.
right.
Wow. That's
So it ain't easy.
yeah.
That's what I said. So if you even make the Olympics,
Yeah.
I mean, you've accomplished something big,
Oh
man.
yeah, for sure.
Just making it to the Olympics, and then let
Yeah.
alone win a medal.
Yeah. Right.
So, um,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, man. And I'm gonna cut the story short about the guy, but anyhow, he was a business major.
Mm.
So when he seen what Rob Rafford was doing,
Mhm.
he said, "I can do better than that.
Mm.
I can do better than that. I can really bring this to 10 times fold, man."
Mm.
And so what he did was he was going to UC. He got a lot of connections at UC. He asked some of the programmers there, like, hey, I like to rent out one of your rack rooms and, you know, run a boxing class up out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he called it DC Fitness.
Okay.
His name was Danny Calhoun.
Okay.
DC Fitness, right? And so he did a great job there. I helped him like run some of them classes for him
Mm-hmm.
as he was still, training and stuff for fights because he ended up turning professional himself.
Yeah.
And I actually helped him win his first professional fight too, and he stopped that guy
Heck
in
yeah.
the second round with a knockout.
Wow.
But let's go back to the business part of him. So, he did that, saved his money up, went out, ventured out, rented a building, and called that TKO Fitness.
Mm.
So now he got bigger space.
Mm-hmm.
I would help him there. Now, all this help I was doing all for free. Like I was doing it out of my passion. He was a good friend,
Yeah.
and I just wanted him to, live his dream, and I wanted him to, just make it, right?
Mhm.
And so he did that. TKO Fitness took that money and invested into another building by Xavier University, and he called it the Punch House.
Mm.
Now, the Punch House, it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
We would always talk about how we would bring stars in there.
Mm.
That's what happened.
Wow.
So Adrien Broner, he's a welterweight, like 147 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he's from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Adrien Broner is.
Mm-hmm.
And who's a three or four time world champion.
Wow.
But he brought him in
Mm.
to the Punch House.
Mm.
Who follows stars?
Yeah.
Other stars.
Right. Of course.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had these stars. Like
Yeah.
he was saying before, so if I was to tell you, like, man, I'm gonna have stars here and I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have that, you ain't
Yeah.
gonna believe it until you see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna probably go in one end after the other. Well,
Yeah.
I believed in him. Now I thought that he could, And so, but anyway, and then it happened.
Who's the biggest star that you've ever worked with?
Well, I never worked with any stars.
Oh, well,
I
thought
didn't
you
say
meant-
that.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't.
okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I said he said that he would have stars in his gym.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what Danny said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have stars in here, and
Yeah.
and so and that's what he did.
Mm.
And that's what I mean by he brought Adrien Broner in.
Yeah.
Adrien Broner brought other stars.
Yeah.
You had Showtime.
Yeah.
They brought Showtime, one of them. But anyway, come in. So I mean, that's a big thing if you got a television broadcast or what is television show coming in.
Yeah.
Because they do documentaries when a fighter is going to fight, a big name fighter
Right.
is about to fight. They want to document it and make video and stuff like that. So when they do fight, they got a little footage of them before they go fight. They have like that. And so, but anyway, they gave his gym a lot of exposure.
Mm.
So you see the gym in there, the Punch House. It was beautiful because when he fought, they gonna show what Adrien Broner been doing in the gym.
Right.
He was at the Punch House.
Yeah.
And so the Punch House is getting a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
And he really, I'm sorry, but he
No,
really, really, really turned his business up.
Yeah.
He turned his business up. And
Now
go ahead.
You were around.
I was around the whole time when it was nothing but a thought.
But you weren't coaching?
Oh, well, I was coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, I was training. I was his trainer.
You were training? Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, I was his number one trainer for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
For a lot of years. And like I said, he knew business.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come from a business background.
Yeah.
I come from a boxing background.
Mm.
He didn't know boxing.
Right.
I taught him boxing.
Mm.
Because he knew business.
Yeah.
And I'm following him throughout these years.
Yeah.
I'm catching on to business. So with that being said, because I was with him
Mhm.
and he's got me helping him, and then it turned into I'm working, like, basically working for him.
Right.
Who do you trust? A
Mhm.
person who's with you all the time
Right.
because he probably know what to do,
Mhm.
and that was me.
Yeah.
So I knew what to do as far as collecting money
Yeah.
and going on the computer, and I learned how to talk to people.
Mm.
I learned how to sell,
Mhm.
because I had to do it
Right.
because I'm working for him,
Mhm.
and so I was doing that. I ended up becoming like the manager of the place. I mean, he got so big for me. This is why I called myself the Cincinnati Trainer. I was just playing with the name.
Mhm.
People thought I was the owner of the Punch House.
Ha. Okay.
Yes, so he actually would need someone because he built a few punch houses,
Mm.
so he can't be at all of them.
Right.
So he needed somebody to trust to be able to
Right.
help run the gym.
Mhm.
And I was that go-to guy for him. And
Mm.
this is how I learned how to run a
Business and all that.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so when we went our separate ways,
Yeah.
but this is what we came out. This is
Mhm.
how we came out.
Mhm.
And now I'm thriving in Boxercise powered by the Cincinnati Trainer.
That's awesome.
He's doing his thing,
Mhm.
and we both just living, man, living our lives, man. And,
Yeah.
and I'm very, very, very passionate about what it is that I do.
Mhm.
I've learned a lot, man, and I'm still learning today, man. And I'm just, yeah, man. That's a story right there as
Yeah.
far as how I became the Cincinnati Trainer and how I end up building the business.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit more like fun light stuff. So, we've played a few chess games.
Yeah, man.
How'd those go? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We don't have to talk about that.
How those go?
No, no, no. I'm just trolling with you.
I destroyed you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Once you beat me. And I was sick and no, I'm
Nah,
kidding.
nah,
No.
nah. You got me. I couldn't get you no more. You pretty good, man.
I
You is,
appreciate
man. You
that.
pretty good, man. You pretty good. I got everybody else though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you played Edwin yet?
uh, no.
He I'd like to see you guys spar a little bit on the
Yeah,
chessboard.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
See how that goes. But
yeah.
yeah, so Zach has a chessboard, and we there's a quite a few of us that at least play casually as
Right.
far as chess goes. I don't think I'm any sort of good, but I'm undefeated other than playing you that one time. And yeah, and we've played each other, I don't know, like 6 or 7 times, something
So
like
yeah,
that. So, yeah, anyway, so the next question
you the
is,
man.
what's something most people assume about you that's totally off? That you're 51?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the biggest ones, man. And I take that as a pat on the back from people, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I thrive in that, man. I try to
Right.
keep it like that as long as I can, man.
Right, yeah.
Um, not a lot of stress, in my life. I try not to think negative. I try to do a lot of positive things. I stay exercising. And it's just part of my life, man. I try to eat as close as healthy as I can.
Yeah.
And so so another thing that people think that is I'm like this, health god.
Mm.
Like it's kind of like being a fitness trainer, man. It's kind of like being a preacher, man.
Yeah.
You know, you know, people watch you, man.
Mm.
They watch you, man. I mean, you human,
Yeah,
and you make mistakes.
of course.
You come up short. I mean, like, I got a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, I try to do things in moderation. But yeah, I got a sweet tooth.
So you eat fairly healthy, but
Yeah, I'm not no 100%.
yeah,
I'm not no 100%. I that's one thing about me as a fitness trainer. I'm a real guy.
yeah,
And this is why my clients, they can relate to me, man, and they trust me and they know that I give them the real deal.
mm,
Yes, I know how to keep my weight down. Yes, I know how to do these things, but I fight them battles too every day, man.
mm,
I come from a life of hog mogs,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and all the bad foods.
How much weight have you had to lose for one fight? Like, what's the most?
Ah,
Usually,
for one fight, I only
or did you
my weight
maintain
wasn't
it?
my weight really wasn't always. I mean, really wasn't like crazy. Like I
No.
wasn't coming
Okay.
down from no 200 and something, and
Yeah.
so my body was, when I was active as a fighter,
Yeah.
my body was always in a calorie deficit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can lose weight. Like I can be 15 pounds over and I can go run
Yeah.
2 days and I'm on weight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it come off like that. I go run about maybe 10 miles in 2 days and then
Yeah.
I'm good, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, but
I'm working on my journey to losing weight. You kind of said you said something along the lines of you looked the part of a trainer and stuff like that. And I coach wheelchair tennis, among other tennis. I coach blind and visually impaired and adaptive, and some able-bodied people too. But I've lost about 35 pounds in the last three and a half months, and I'm hoping to lose like 100 pounds in a year is
yeah,
kind of my goal. But like, I definitely at this point, like, I think one thing that people don't know about me maybe or assume is I don't coach any sort of sports because I'm a little bit
right.
bigger, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm trying to look the part and all that in my tennis career, and I think that's important. So, um, okay, so the next thing is, have you ever had any like weird client requests or like just maybe even a situation with the client that was just like, hmm,
Ah, mm, no, man, because the reflection that I give off, on the vibe that I give off, is very professional, man.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Would you consider like weird? Weird like what? No, no. So I didn't have any, outside of like we supposed to be training. They asked me some stuff like do
Well,
something weird outside of
yeah, maybe.
fitness.
I've got a great
I get it.
example for you of one that happened to me. I was in the retail space. I was working in retail, and this was when I was younger. And this I was waiting for a customer to come in and need the product that I was selling. And this lady walks by me, and she goes, and didn't know this lady at
Yeah.
all, but she goes, "You lazy ass, why don't you get up and do something?" And pointing at my wheelchair, and it was, it was
That's
literally,
funny.
yeah, right. It was literally the weirdest thing that someone's probably ever said to me about my disability and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
that's great. That's
like,
funny.
she said it to the right person because I love wheelchair jokes and
Yeah,
I love it coming from anybody.
yeah.
And I was she just kept walking. I was like, wait, hold on. I need to shake your hand because that took some guts to do that, to say that to some
Yeah,
completely random disabled
yeah,
person in
yeah,
a
you have to go.
wheelchair. And
Yeah.
I
You
just
have to
like
do something.
and it's been forever since I've been in the retail space, and
Yeah,
so like that's just been a story that stuck with me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's
I,
funny, man.
I imagine like in the boxing training world, it's a little bit there's obviously less talking. I mean, there's talking, but not like you're
Uh,
telling people what to do, how to punch, and
yeah,
all that.
yeah, right.
In my world, oh man, there's so many different experiences that I've
Yeah,
had, and this one guy was a wheelchair inventor, and he he wanted me to meet him after I got off for him to show me his wheelchair inventions. And as he's pulling out these different things, which were absolutely crazy things, he pulls out a rope, like just a completely, like, I don't know, 20-foot long, just coiled rope.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't have an invention for a seatbelt, but you can have this just in case you need to strap yourself into your chair. And it's like what? Like, okay. And dude, it was a really, and this guy's able-bodied, and like, nothing against able-bodied people, but unless you're in a chair and you experience it day to
Yeah.
day, like, it's it's oftentimes hard to get in the shoes of a disabled person to figure out what they truly need, and all that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
dude, he pulled out so many different inventions that were just like wild. So those that's what I mean by like different, like, I don't know, weird client requests or just
No.
weird client interactions. So, um,
No, I don't think I got. No, I can't recall, man.
what about an embarrassing gym moment for someone, or
Well, I tell you what. I'm sure it was embarrassing. I'm sure it was embarrassing. It wasn't funny, but I'm sure it was embarrassing for the person. Um, I had um, I had a circuit training going,
yeah,
and one of the things was to run on the treadmill,
yeah,
and it was different age groups, but they all was able to do the things that they needed to do that
mhm,
I had them doing. But anyway, so we had a young lady running on the treadmill, and she's going like 7 miles an hour. That's pretty fast to someone who don't really
yeah,
run on a treadmill.
yeah,
And then you got the treadmill like still going. So I show them all at the beginning how to get on the treadmill, how to get off the treadmill
uh,
while the treadmill is still running.
right,
That way, you don't have to waste time.
yeah,
You get on, you get off, you go to the next one, and the
yeah,
circuit just keeps going right there.
right,
And so, anyway, I don't think that this particular person paid attention or even seeing how fast the treadmill was going.
oh no,
And then they they got on, but they didn't hold on as I instructed them to until
oh,
they got themselves stable on
yeah,
the treadmill,
yeah,
and they kind of like the treadmill kind of like kicked them off,
oh
and
no,
I think that was pretty. They didn't get hurt,
oh,
didn't
that's
get
good,
hurt whatsoever. They didn't get hurt, but it was just embarrassing,
oh yeah,
and man, she left.
mm. Immediately after?
Immediately after.
Oh no, she was that
Immediately after she
embarrassed?
was that
Oh,
embarrassed, man. She left immediately after and didn't see her no more. It was it was over after that.
oh
Didn't see her
no, oh
no more.
no.
So I'm sure she was very, 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 very embarrassed.
Mm,
That was I would have been embarrassed too for real.
of course,
I
yeah,
would have been embarrassed too.
yeah.
But
You know what's really embarrassing? Like, so for me, like, there's times that I think every disabled person in a wheelchair,
yeah.
they can think of a time where they fell out of their wheelchair.
Yeah, oh, man, yeah.
Um, and dude, like, it's one of those things where, like, if somebody falls, just an able-bodied person falls, it's like, "Oh, are you okay?"
Yeah.
Right? But if a guy in a wheelchair falls, everybody freaks out like, "Oh my gosh, like, this guy in the wheelchair fell," and one of the jokes that I tell is like, "Hey, listen, I just fell out of my wheelchair, like, I'm already paralyzed, what else is gonna happen?"
Right.
Right? Like,
They figure you
it's
can't get up.
yeah, well, that's true too. And I can walk a little bit, thankfully. So,
Yeah.
but like, oftentimes I'll just jump up. I do remember when I was in middle school. We have this kind of big room,
Yeah.
and there's a pole in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
and for some reason, the path that I was taking, I was getting pretty close to that pole, and I was going fast.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was just sprinting as fast as I could, and I got way too close to the pole, and my left or my right or left wheel clipped it,
Shoot.
and I just went flying out of my wheelchair.
Damn.
And there were some, I think I was in 6th or 7th grade, and there were some 8th graders that saw it, and they came over and they're like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?"
Yeah, man.
And I started screaming, "I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs." And they came over like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And then I was like, "I'm just kidding. I was born like that."
I know that, yeah, all messed up.
So
Hey,
I
did any teachers like what did you say that happened at school?
Yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
any teachers come?
No, it was away from all the
Oh,
classrooms and all that. It
oh,
was, like, right outside the lunchroom,
yeah.
and so yeah, yeah. No teacher saw. It was just the 2 8th graders. I think
Oh,
it was in between, like it
yeah,
was, like, while all the classes were happening and all
yeah,
that. So there wasn't anybody around except for those 2 8th graders, or
yeah,
maybe it
yeah,
was after school. I don't know, but yeah, like, it was, I'm a huge prankster when it
yeah,
comes to that too. Probably not so much, not as much as I've gotten older, but like, yeah,
yeah.
that was,
Yeah, it's a fun time, man.
yeah,
You know what? I want to say something real fast,
yeah,
man. You
sure,
know, I gotta admire you for that, man, because see, you got a disability that
hmm,
would have a person, like depressed or something because they can't
yeah,
do what the normal people, can do.
hmm,
And you taking your internalize, you turn it into something that make you, laugh and happy and,
of course, yeah,
keep your cheers up, man. And
yeah,
and I would just want to commend you for that, man. You don't let this stuff stop you, man. You still
no,
get your workout in, man,
yeah.
in some shape or form, man.
Mm.
And I bet you probably can whoop some. Yeah, they underestimate you. Put the waffle.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I be seeing you swing that. What you call them?
The mace,
Yeah, I be
yeah,
seeing you swing the maces around, man. This things is heavy.
dude, they're heavy
Them
and
things is heavy, man.
they're so fun. But yeah, hey, thanks for sharing. Thanks for telling me that. You know what? One thing that I kind of look at, and I think if there's anybody listening that's in like a depressed state who is disabled or whatever because they're disabled, like for me, it's like there's only two options,
Yeah,
and there's only one good option with the two options is I I can wallow in self pity and feel sorry for myself, or and then like not do anything or whatever, collect government income or whatever else, or I can say, all right, these are the cards that I'm dealt, and what can I do to make a difference in the world? So, I can tell you one thing, I would never be coaching any sort of disabled people with tennis if it wasn't a result, and it's been some of the most memorable experiences of my life. Like it's just it's awesome. So I you know so I think it's like it's easy for me to say this because I didn't have like an accident or
yeah,
anything. I was born like this, so this
right.
is all I've ever known. I've never been able to feel my feet. I've had the same functions my entire life, right? But like, um, the faster somebody can get over their disability
Yeah,
and learn how to adapt like properly in the world and stuff like that, like the faster they can actually live their own life and make a difference and do all that. So I will say, you know, I can this isn't, so I'm not saying this to show off, but I can do a wheelie, I can go down and up curbs and stuff like that, and like I think those are like necessary, almost critical life skills for someone in a wheelchair to learn,
mhm,
because it'll make you more independent. Like when there's not a ramp,
right.
how are you going to get up that ramp? Or how are you going to get up that curb? How are you going to get down that curb? And if you can learn those skills to be able to do that, someone's going to be a lot more independent as a
Yeah,
result.
sure.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
man.
but yeah, I appreciate that. I'm living a good life. So,
There you go.
all right. Next question. What's your go-to hype song? if you have one?
You know what? I do. It's by Rich Homie Quan, Lifestyle.
It's rich.
Rich Homie Quan.
Okay.
It's a rap artist.
Lifestyle.
You know, he passed away though, but
Uh-huh.
but he's called like Lifestyle.
Okay. I'll have to listen to that. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't gonna go into trying to sing it.
I mean, you can like that'd make for a very clippable clippable moment in the podcast.
Oh man, go look it up.
Yeah, I'm really like very curious about this song, Zach. Like, I if only I could get the rhythm or the beat or whatever else.
Ain't
Like,
about to embarrass me, man. Me trying to sing, trying to sing the hook. No, man, I'm cool.
yeah. Okay, let's get into a rapid fire segment. So this is where you'll just answer in as few words as possible, and then I'll ask the next one, and it's a little get to know you segment. So, strength or speed?
Oh, speed.
Speed. Okay. Early morning or late night sessions?
Okay, I know it's supposed to be. Are you talking about for me?
Yeah, for you.
Exercising
For you.
or early morning for me
Okay.
exercising.
But for others, you would prefer to train them?
I'd rather train them a little later.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite boxer of all time?
I like Mayweather, man.
Okay. Gloves on or off? You've done both, so fighting.
Gloves on, man.
Yeah. Knockout or decision?
I need that knockout, man.
Yeah. Okay. So there's kind of a two-parter there. Knockout or decision. For you when you're fighting, you want a knockout.
I want the knockout, man.
And when you're watching a fight, would you prefer the same thing?
I want the knockout.
Yeah. It's more entertaining when you get knocked out. So instead of just boxing. and all that.
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I think it's safer that you get knocked out
Oh.
than to take the beatings throughout the whole rounds.
Interesting.
So you get it over, you get knocked out. You just help them out a whole lot. You know it's embarrassing. You're like, damn, you got knocked out, and it looked good for. It helps on both ends.
Yeah.
The guy getting knocked out, it saves him from taking multiple punishment.
Right.
And then the other guy, it brings him a lot of fans.
Right. Okay.
So I mean,
Just a real quick side question: when you do get knocked out, how much training or how much recovery would someone need
well, when you get knocked out,
before they can fight again?
okay, 30 days. They suspend
30
you.
days. Oh,
They
they
suspend you.
suspend you.
They get you out of there.
Whoa.
They need all your marbles intact when you come back.
Is that because they just want to give your brain time to repair and all that?
Exactly.
Interesting. I
Go
didn't
to
know
the
that.
hospital, make sure you're all right or whatever.
But I would assume someone's not fighting in 30 days after they get knocked out.
I mean, after 30 days, they can fight again.
But do they?
They probably will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. In like specifically with like MMA, like I watch UFC from time to time, and it's for me it's hard to keep track of like the fighters because it seems like they take so long between fights to fight again.
Well, that's because you are it depends on. Okay, let me take it back a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So when you're an amateur, you're not getting. When you're an amateur, the blows still hurt, but they don't hurt as much as a professional. Why? The gloves got more padding on it.
Oh.
Right. You got headgear on.
Oh.
And you're not taking as much punishment. Now believe me, you still can get knocked out. And the body shots and stuff still hurt, and all that stuff still hurts, but it don't hurt as badly as a professional when professionals wear 8-ounce gloves, no
Yeah.
headgear, or 10-ounce gloves, no headgear,
Uh,
and the padding is a lot thinner, right?
are they 16 ounce and amateur?
No, they 10-ounce in amateur, but
Okay.
they 10-ounce in amateur and 12-ounce in amateur, but they
Okay.
got an extra padding in there that takes some of the that absorbs that helps, you cushion the blow a little bit more,
Interesting. Okay.
And so with that being said, the professionals that fight, and they might fight today and you might not see them
Yeah.
to 6 months or maybe a year later
Right.
because they actually taking these real hospitalized type of
Whoa.
blows.
Okay.
It really hurts. The MMA, you
Yeah.
see they gloves, they really little.
Right. Yeah, they're tiny.
So yeah, they getting cut over the eyes.
Right.
Stuff really be happening to them.
Mhm.
And so it's about safety. So and then they get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get paid for it.
Right.
So they can afford to. If you up there and you getting you know $500,000 check,
Yeah.
you can afford to take off a year or
Right.
maybe 6 months.
Right. Right.
You ain't got to fight. You can
Mm.
fight like twice a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty good.
Interesting. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. All right. So let's see. More rapid fire. So sorry, we stopped
Yeah.
halfway through the derail. But favorite post training meal.
Hey, false training meal. I like my salmon. I got some at home
Salmon,
right now. So
okay.
I got my salmon and I got my vegetables,
Okay.
ready for me like right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I got that.
Mental health or physical toughness.
I like my mental health.
Yeah. Okay. Music during training or silence? I know the answer to
Music.
this one.
Music.
Yeah, I always hear you put
Music.
music on when you're training
Yeah.
people and all that. So, cardio or technique drills? Which do you prefer? And then which do you prefer to train?
Man, I like both of them, man.
Yeah.
It's cardio.
Yeah. But I imagine you could do technique drills while you do
Why are you doing cardio? Right.
So
Yeah. Like I
they
like
almost
both
go
of them.
hand in hand. Yeah. Um, most annoying, um, most annoying habit in boxing culture, if you have one.
I can't think of none right
All
now.
right, all right, that's fine. Okay, so I've got one for the tennis world is, so like if you go to a basketball game, baseball game, football
Yeah.
game, like the crowd's always talking. There's like music going. There's a lot of excitement all the time. Like when someone's shooting like a foul shot, let's say, you see those little things that they're waving to try to distract the person
Yeah.
and all that. If you go to a tennis match, like a professional tennis match, you can't walk around like while during the game. So you can't walk around and they ask you to be quiet. And so when the guy starts serving, you have to be quiet and you have to like
Right. Okay.
pay attention,
Mhm.
right? To me, that takes away from the excitement. You can't yell. You can't like people cheer like if it's a really good save or something
Yeah.
like that, but then it's like shh,
Right.
right, and
Trying to
it's
concentrate.
right. Well, but like that's annoying to me because like imagine bringing like a 3 4 year old kid to a tennis match.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not possible. Like
Right.
you're gonna get your kid to shut up for 2 3 minutes at a time, let's say,
Exactly.
and it's like no, like you can't do that. And
Yeah.
so to bring a kid to that, and then like even like a 10 year old kid, like hey, you have to be quiet during this and all that. Like so to me, that's annoying in the tennis culture is like I don't think if you're at that level that you should need everybody to be quiet, right?
Yeah.
Like you should be professional enough in your head to be able to tune all that out.
Right.
Just like the guy that's taking that foul shot, just like the football, just like those in football, and you know, it's just as hard to throw for the quarterback to throw a football and hit that wide receiver, right?
Yeah,
As someone taking a foul shot, as someone who's serving. So
yeah,
I'd like to see the tennis culture evolve to be a little bit more fun. So that's my annoying habit in tennis culture, let's say. So
dig that.
all right, so let's get in. Those were fun. Let's get into your past a little bit more. So, what kind of kid were you?
I was energetic. I was energetic, man. I had imagination, out this world, man.
Yeah.
Um, I was always smiling, man.
Mm,
It was this happy kid. Um, like I said, I was always, athletic.
mhm.
So, I was that energy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the high energy kid, man.
Yeah.
I come around, man. I was that glow.
Mm,
I was that glower.
yeah.
So I go into a place of darkness, and I would brighten up the place.
Yeah.
I would have people paying attention to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess I was a spotlight.
Yeah. All right. I think I try to do that too. Everybody looks at me as like one of the most positive people they know and
Right.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then the other thing is like let's say I go to work. I have a day job. And I go to work and I'm just like tired or like something just happened to me or
Yeah.
whatever like and I like we have an interaction. You probably won't know if I've had a bad day or whatever else. Like I just
Right.
part of my philosophy is like I don't want to put that bad vibe that I'm having on you. So
Right.
I'm going to be cheerful regardless and hopefully I can brighten up your day and make your day better, right?
Exactly, man. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm pretty successful in my business today.
Yeah. Yeah, I could
Because
see
of that,
that.
I bring that type of energy,
Yeah.
and so when people leave my presence, man, they leave satisfied and
Right.
happy, man.
Right.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
and so they like to draw from my energy, man.
Yeah. What was your first real exposure to boxing or competition? We kind of went into that. So unless you have anything else to add, I'll skip to the next question.
Ask me the question again.
What was your first real exposure to boxing? Let's say competition.
When was my first
Yeah.
competition?
No. When did you like see the competition and all
Oh,
that?
like I said, when I went to my friend, he invited me to his boxing match,
Right.
and that was he was coached under Ricardo Williams Senior,
Yeah.
and he showed me. Well, he let me see him fight,
Yeah.
and
That's
it was
awesome.
it was live, and it was, oh
Yeah.
man, I mean, he did a Mike Tyson on this guy,
I've
man.
never.
It was blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's what said, I'm in, man.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, man,
Yeah.
and I did it, man. I got with this guy and with the coaches and stuff, and
Yeah.
I got my career finally started at age 20.
I got a quick side question for you. Um, so the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um, so that was a little bit ago, but there was a lot of I didn't watch it. I watched clips, all that. First of all, did you watch it at
I
all? Or
watched it.
yeah, and so what was your impressions of the fight?
Yeah, man. What was my take on that fight, man? I I truly believe that it was fixed. I believe that it was
Mhm.
scripted out.
Mhm.
I think that they got together and they knew that they were both big names and they can bring a lot of fans to the seats. So that
Mhm.
means a lot of money to the table,
Yeah.
and they could walk away with made a lot of money.
Right.
Um, I believe that they discussed, like, I do believe that Mike Tyson could have hurt him.
Mm.
I still really believe that Mike Tyson could have hurt him. Now he came in looking like he was older than I don't know what,
Yeah.
Like if he looked at Steph and stuff, and he was holding back in the
Mhm.
fight. Um, but so if that was the case, and if he was really like that, Mike was really like Steph, and really wasn't, reacting like he usually would react. No, I'm not saying he gonna react like he did when he was like 20 or 18 years old,
Mm,
but he still can fight more
mhm.
fluent than he fought when he fought Jake Paul. Now Jake Paul, he knocking all these other guys out,
Mhm.
like um I forgot this MMA fighter name, but he knocking all these other young young firecrackers out, you
Mhm.
know, and even though they wasn't no professional, like Anderson Silva. Isn't that Anderson Silva, the spider in
That
the
sounds
MMA?
sounds familiar. I don't know who Jake Paul fought though.
Okay, so anyhow, he in a way, like he could have knocked Mike Tyson out,
Yeah.
but he didn't.
So what was
Mike Tyson could have hurt him,
w-
but he didn't.
the few clips that I saw was there was one time that Mike Tyson threw like a right hook
Yeah.
and then stopped and then brought his gloves
You
back.
see what I'm saying?
Mm.
He biting
Yeah.
his mouthpiece and stuff because he wanted to do. It
Yeah.
was said or told or like rumored that they had a deal of, because it was Jake's show,
Mm,
that Mike don't get paid if he knocked Jake out.
he's not gonna get paid.
If he
Whoa.
knocked Jake out. So,
Whoa.
he was holding punches and stuff back, man.
Yeah.
Man, he could have hurt Jake Paul, man. The
Yeah.
last thing that leave is your power
Mhm.
and your um your knowledge of, or your skill to be able to get there. Now you might not have the same, quick reaction and timing,
Right.
but knowing how to get to your opponent,
Mhm.
that's very hard to.
Sure.
That's one of your last things that leave, man.
Yeah.
Your power,
Yeah.
that's one of the last. Now your speed might diminish
Mhm.
a little bit, but you smart enough to know how to time a person
Mm.
because you done did it so long,
Yeah.
time a person and your power don't. That's the last thing to leave, man.
Mhm.
Mike Tyson might can give you a handshake and they ain't gonna crush your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
So I think that was a fix, man.
So if they actually fought for real, who would win?
I think Mike will win if they actually fought for real.
You think Mike would win?
I,
Okay.
like they can't keep letting time roll. I don't know what Mike is doing. If he's still smoking and stuff, if he having drinks and stuff, and
Mhm.
not really working out like that, you know
I mean, he
he's getting older, so his body diminishing, all that bad stuff that's going in him.
yeah.
You know, your body that'll catch up with you as time goes, as you get older.
Mm.
And if Jake is handling his business and not doing that stuff like that, and
Right.
then he's younger, and Jake might be able to get it, probably gonna be able to get it off.
Yeah.
But I get an edge to. I would say Mike can get him, man.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Interesting. I mean, he was looking fierce in the
I think
in
Mike
the
can get him.
pre-warm-ups that was recorded
Right.
and stuff like that. Like he was looking like he was punching super hard and all that. So,
And that's to get us to watch it.
mm,
That's to
yeah,
get us to
exactly.
watch it.
Right, 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 right.
Like, you
They
know what I'm saying?
they made a lot of money from that, I'm sure. So,
Man,
yeah.
Mayweather did a really good thing when he switched over to this exhibition stuff.
Mm. Is that what he does? Just does exhibitions?
Yeah, Mayweather just do exhibitions now, but he get paid really big money as if he fighting
Right,
real fights.
right.
I mean, it's still real fights, but they don't go on his record,
Mhm.
so they call them exhibitions, and
Yeah,
that's what they did. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul exhibitions. So Floyd Mayweather, he started their trend exhibitions, get paid really big money.
yeah.
Everybody else jumped on the bandwagon like, hey.
I got another fun one for you. So Jeff Bezos, no, Mark Zuckerberg, rather,
Yeah.
the CEO of Facebook, and
Right.
Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, they talked for a minute about possibly doing an MMA fight together.
Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg.
No, Elon Musk, not Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh.
So I'm sorry, not Jeff Bezos. It wasn't Jeff Bezos. It was Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
They were talking about doing an MMA fight, and Elon proposed that they do it in the Coliseum, the actual Coliseum from back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that. Did you? It doesn't sound like you heard about that chatter.
No.
No. Did have you seen them spar at all or anything like that?
No.
All right, so knowing the two and what they look like, who do you think would win in a fight? Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Elon's a little bit older, so it seems like
I don't know though. Elon Musk might come with some of that Tesla stuff.
yeah.
Come with that Tesla, man. He might come with some AI. Hey, is he the one who created that robot that run around and be boxing people?
I believe so, yeah. But he also has this, that Neuralink, right? And from what I've gathered, it's not very like super advanced, but maybe he's got like the new prototype in his brain, and he's like, all right, I'm a fighter. I've trained myself to get reflexes. Have reflexes.
He
like
probably got something. He probably would have something up his sleeve.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you? It sounds like from what we were talking about, you've always imagined yourself in this world, right?
I always imagine myself in this boxing world.
Yeah. What okay, so then my next question is, what moment shaped how you see yourself today? Was there a moment or just a journey? It sounds like
It was just a journey, man. It wasn't no
organic.
money. Yeah. It wasn't no it wasn't a moment, man. I'm just doing what I've been doing basically all my life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How
Yeah.
have your values changed over the years?
I take I tell you like I take life a lot more serious. I don't I haven't drunk any alcohol in about almost a year.
Oh, wow.
Um and I practiced that just to have discipline, within myself to be able to tell myself, give myself a command and do it.
Yeah.
So by doing that one particular thing right there, I can stay up late.
Mhm.
And what I mean by late, like go to sleep at 1 in the morning,
Mhm.
and I have to be at the gym. Not saying it's good, but I have to be at the gym like maybe at 6,
Yeah.
and I'm full of energy
Mm.
still.
Wow. I cannot do that. I need my sleep.
And I can do that throughout. I've been doing it for a minute. So
Yeah.
I think cutting alcohol out. I
Mm.
mean, even casual drinking, like wine, like all of it.
Mm.
It really stepped me up a lot, like another level.
Yeah.
Because you want to be at your best performance when you're training people.
Sure.
You want to be on time.
Right.
You want to have the energy. You don't want to be sluggish.
Right.
You got parties and stuff going on. They got the celebrations. They're
Right.
around, and they got the drinks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so me as an entrepreneur, I had to change certain habits.
Yeah.
A lot of habits that's not for my growth.
Mhm.
So I had to change a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that ain't easy to do.
Right.
I say, everything like one day at a time. So I never say I don't drink, but I say I don't drink today.
Right.
And I've been doing that every day for
Wow.
like 9 months or so.
Wow.
And I've I'm seeing the difference,
Okay.
of what it make, what it does for me. So,
It
um,
is it so w- I guess my first question, if you don't mind me
yeah, go ahead,
answering,
go ahead.
did you have a problem with alcohol
No, so
or
when I talk about that, it do seem like I'm saying like I had a problem with
right,
alcohol.
right.
But no, I ain't have no problem with alcohol, but I do believe this.
Mhm.
I do believe this, that this is my personal belief.
Mhm.
If you drink, whether it's just casual, but you can't stop,
Mhm.
and I ain't talking about stop like, okay, I stopped for 2 weeks,
Mhm.
but you can't stop. And okay, you're not like drinking fifths 2 and 3 times right back to back.
Right.
Hey, I'm always, I'm doing. No, I ain't talking about that. I
Mhm.
still think that you're alcoholic
Mm.
because you're gonna circle back around to it
Yeah,
when you get the feeling.
right.
"Ah, man, I gotta have me a drink, or when it, family function, Christmas Day, everybody's around alcohol,
Mhm. Mm.
and you say, I don't really drink like that, but you're gonna have a drink anyway.
Yeah,
I still think that that's a form of, it might not be at the highest, or
sure.
but it's a form of alcoholism.
Yeah,
You got alcohol problem, man.
yeah, uh-huh.
Like if you can't stop.
Mhm.
So that's why I say that um I don't drink today.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. I still drink here and there. It's more of like a social thing for me. Like I just like kicking back and hanging
Right.
out and whatever else. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely moments where once I get a few drinks in me, it's like all right, let's keep going. So yeah, I mean, I think yeah, there's a little bit of a decline in decision making once you have a few drinks, and it's easy to get carried away sometimes. So,
Yeah, man. I what's what's crazy about it is I was just talking
mhm,
to a guy yesterday, actually one of my one of my clients, but we was just talking about that
mhm,
yesterday. And I was saying that it's crazy because we know that alcohol, we putting the poison in us. We know that.
yeah, yeah,
It does make us feel good. It does
mhm,
put us into a state of, like maybe the untruth.
yeah,
Like if it's a problem going on, we go
mhm,
to the alcohol so we ain't gotta think about it. We
right,
relax, whatever, whatever,
right.
you
But you're
know.
just delaying
Uh,
problems.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Stuff like that. We want to lose weight. I
yeah,
lost a lot of weight. I keep my weight down
yeah,
because I don't drink. I ain't been drinking, man.
yeah.
My weight I stay in this calorie deficit also,
Mhm,
you know, so I can still do what I did when I was younger.
yeah,
If I'm weighing 188, I can go run right now
right,
a mile or two.
yeah,
I'll get back on the scale. I'm 185,
yeah,
sometimes 181.
yeah,
I know they say water weight and stuff like that, whatever.
right.
But just saying, my weight, I keep my weight
Mhm,
where I wanted it at,
yeah,
like that. But that's due to one of the biggest things I found out is due to, like not drinking alcohol. When you drink
yeah,
the alcohol, what goes behind it? You want to eat this,
yeah,
you want to eat that.
uh-huh,
Um, Alcohol already got calories and stuff in
yeah,
it that stick to you.
yeah,
It's got the sugar,
mhm,
and so like I said, I've been feeling really, really, really good
yeah. So
without it.
from a feel good standpoint, yes, it's a good accomplishment. I think that's an ego boost in and of itself, just not doing it for this long.
Yeah.
But also, like, you don't have that next day. Maybe like you feel like you drank a little bit, and
Right.
you still feel that, and
Yeah.
all that. So like, how has it? uh, How has it changed you? So, like, if you give it like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and beyond, What's the difference if someone like say drinks once a week or every other week versus just going consistently without drinking? How does that change you?
It tells me that I can give myself a command and I can do it, and I
Yeah.
can do it
Okay.
for a long period of time.
So
It's
it's
telling me
discipline
that
based.
I have a discipline.
Yeah.
So I'm disciplined in the area. Um, and I'm trying to discipline myself in other areas too. These are
Mhm.
all things that you got to conquer within yourself.
Right.
If you can beat yourself, you can beat a whole lot of other people outside of
Oh,
yourself.
I love that. If you can beat yourself, you can beat a lot of other people outside of that.
Outside of yourself.
That's so awesome. That's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, man. You want to be in control of you. You
Mm,
can't control everybody else, but you control what you do
yeah.
and feel good and put yourself on this feel good high vibration
Yeah.
and just outdo everybody, man.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think from just a mental health standpoint, you making commitments to yourself and then following through and actually doing them, those are so important because if you make a commitment and then you're like, let's say you're like, oh, I'm gonna train 2 days from now, and then you don't, and it's not for extenuating circumstances like a death in your family or
Right.
something like that. You just don't feel like it that day.
Right.
Um, I think if you lie, I consider that lying to yourself, right?
Right. Yeah, man.
And I think it's so important to make sure that you follow through on those commitments. Not only make them, because I think some people are scared of that failure, and so they're like, "I'm not gonna make commitments because I
Right.
just don't want that obligation." And
Right.
and then like some people might even think, when I make commitments, I know what happens. I fail at them, and that is so toxic to somebody's ego and even mental health. So you were gonna say something.
I put my clients on commitments.
Yeah.
I put them on commitments.
Right.
They watching me. Are
Mhm.
you committing?
Right.
So when I put them on commitments, I'm committing too.
Right.
So that reflects back on me to remember what I'm doing, what I'm telling them,
Right.
because they're watching me and they want to do what I do.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so we just had the flying pig come up not too long ago, like a few weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, let's talk about how you ditched me that one day. No, I'm just I'm totally kidding.
Hey.
We did kind of talk about how we are gonna do a podcast during that day, and then
Right.
go ahead. Sorry, the flying pig and all that.
Ah, man. I had a group. I did it twice in a year. I mean twice. I did it in 23 and I did it in 20 this year,
Yeah,
25.
the full marathon, right?
No, no, not
Oh,
half.
oh,
I'm
okay,
cool on the
okay,
full.
okay.
I ain't,
Half marathon.
half is good enough.
Okay, okay.
Believe that. 13 miles
Yeah,
ain't no nothing to sneeze at.
right.
All right. So anyhow, um, I'm always bringing the community together,
Mhm.
and what I do with my company is I bring the community together so we can do activities outside of what they paying for this personal training. So in
Mhm.
other words, they're working out with me. Let's put your working out, basically to a challenge.
Yeah.
And let's see if your working out is, working out for you. You
Mhm.
know, let's set a goal.
Mhm.
We're gonna do the flying pig.
Mhm.
So now I've made you commit. So you're gonna train with me up until that point at least.
Yeah.
And so so I commit first.
Yeah.
So they see like, okay, and then they sign up.
Yeah.
Now they committed. They done
Mhm.
put their money up there. Now they committed.
Mhm.
They working out every day. They coming to the gym and
Yeah.
they doing what I'm asking them to do, this and that and the other. I'm asking them to weigh a certain amount
Mm.
when we do go run,
Yeah.
so they can hopefully like finish the run without stopping. But of
Yeah.
course, sometimes they do because, you know, they're not me.
Yeah, sure.
They're not me, right?
Yeah,
I've been doing this for a long time.
yeah,
But my point is that I get them to participate in something
yeah,
that challenges them, and
yeah.
challenge their mind,
Mhm.
and that tells a story about them,
I
about
love
the
that.
character and stuff, man. And,
Yeah.
and we go out there, man, and we go do it, man. We have a really good time running, man. Um, and they be really happy and proud about themselves
Mhm.
that they never did no flying pig, no marathon,
Yeah.
and they jump in here and they do a marathon.
Mhm.
That takes for residual clients.
Yeah. That's gotta be
They
an
keep
ego
coming back.
booster too, you
Yeah,
know?
they
And
keep coming back, man,
yeah.
because of the support that they get from me. They
Right.
keep coming back because of you
Right.
know the support they get from me, man.
Well, it's also it's so important to, like, track that progress
Right,
or, like, even if they don't realize that you can you have a combo and they struggle with that combo because it's a hard combo at
right,
first, right?
yeah,
And then like they get to the point of actually being able to do it. Like that's with me in the mace swings. Like
yeah,
I went from a 10-pound thinking that like if I swung it I'd tip over in my wheelchair because I don't have tipper bars, right? And
yeah,
I might hit my wheel or whatever else. And to now I've gotten to the point of I'm swinging the 30-pound mace and
yeah.
that progress
Look
is
at that, 30
so
pounds. Yeah,
it's so cool to see that progress. And I like doing this stuff so much better than like just going to the gym and lifting weights and all that. Like
right,
it's so easy to go to the gym and just okay, I do 20-pound curls and that's it, and then
right,
and then you keep doing 20-pound curls and it's like no, like let's
right.
progress,
Let's step it
let's
up.
keep going. And I think that's how people get in a rut or bored or whatever else
Right,
is that they keep doing the same thing over and over and over and then it's like all right like I think it's so important for anybody who trains anything is like all right, what's the next step,
right,
how do we get just a touch better and keep challenging yourself.
right.
So
Yeah, man. Exactly. Yeah.
um who had the biggest influence on your mindset?
Who influenced me?
Yeah, who's influenced you the most throughout your life? Either boxing career or even personal life.
Man, let me see. That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
mean, it could be
yeah.
self-motivation, right? Like you could have been just internally driven because that's who you are and what you want to be.
um, I tell you what, man. I have so I have a lot of like spiritual like uh leaders.
Mm.
And what I mean by spiritual leaders, they like literally not here yet. They just
Mm.
left a legacy,
Mm.
and I listen to them like every night to
Mhm.
because I'm like this positive, self motivated person, and I
Mhm.
need to hear that type of stuff like all the time. So we got people like Bob Proctor.
Mm.
You ever heard of him?
Mm.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just keep going down the list.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
But Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale.
Mm.
Let me see who else we got. We got Napoleon Hill. You
I've
ever heard of him?
heard of him, I feel like. I couldn't
Think
put a
and Grow
face to
Rich.
the
Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, that's what yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and just a slew of others. But anyway, I go into my spiritual counsel, and of course, our Almighty God within us.
Mm.
Of course, number one.
Yeah.
But uh, I go into my spiritual counsel, and I listen to these guys and try to follow the directions.
Mhm.
And that keeps my mind motivated. It keeps me believing that I can achieve these things that I see that I want. I see on
Yeah.
TV like Floyd Mayweather. He got millions. How do you get that?
Mm-hmm.
What inspired him to keep pushing like this? Because I know
Keep
this.
rolling forward.
Yeah, keep rolling forward. Waking up early in the morning, running 10 miles.
Yeah.
That's that's hard, man.
Mhm.
That's discipline, man.
Mhm.
Um, you know, even Mark Zuckerberg, what's
Yeah.
his name?
Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, the owner of Tesla. To keep their mind thinking.
Yeah.
You got to be a weird out guy, man.
Mm.
Totally different from your normal uh people.
Yeah.
You stand out. You're different, man, because you go somewhere deep in your soul, man, deep in your mind,
Mhm.
to be able to stay in that lane, to stay focused, not looking to the left, not looking to the right, not looking back, but staying, you
Mhm.
know, focused, man.
Yeah.
Like a magnifying glass, and you taking that sun and putting it on that ant,
Yeah.
all that energy on it, burning that ant up,
Right. Right.
that burning desire, man, to be able to get the things that you see
Mhm.
that's possible, man,
So, an
and
interesting.
leave a legacy. Sorry about that, and leave a
Yeah.
legacy. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. An interesting question. So imagine someone's listening right now
yeah,
who feels like nothing's happening in their life.
yeah,
They're they're maybe just going through the motions, right,
right,
of life. They might have a job, they might not.
yeah,
And the it takes everything for them to get out of bed in the morning.
yeah.
What would you say to that person from just, we were talking about half marathons, but there's baby steps to get there, right?
Right.
Like, so what would you say to that person who, like, let's say you were coaching that person, or not even coaching, just a life coach.
Yeah.
You know this person exists, and like, you know
Oh,
what kind of rut they're in.
yeah.
What would you say?
I, you know, I would say let's. What is it that you love to do? I would ask that
What
first.
it is? What
That
is it
you love to
that
do.
you love to do?
That
Yeah,
you love to do. That you can do with no problem at all. Like
yeah.
you do it all throughout the day. You know, you do it in the middle of the. Like me, for instance, if somebody asked me to train at 4:30 in the morning,
Mm.
I ain't gonna get mad at them.
Mhm.
If I got the time, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Without, it's all right. It's almost like, So I would ask them, what is it that you love to do?
Yeah.
Let's find that out first.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
love to do that's like no problem. You'll do it in a minute
Mhm.
with no struggle,
Yeah.
no thought. You just love to
Yeah.
do it. You just do it. You'll do it for free.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for free. What is it that you love to do?
Right.
I'll start right there.
Yeah.
And then what a person love, that's who he is.
Mm.
And that's where he gonna find his drive, his passion, and his treasure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. I think about someone who says, "N- I've lost interest in things. No, there's no drive. I mean, there's nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. Let's say, but um, I think about someone like that, and I was talking the other day with somebody about, I'm gonna get this wrong, the exact phrasing, but it was some sort of like cognitive cognitive thoughts that you have about yourself that are
Yeah.
just plain wrong,
Yeah.
right? So for example, I had a conversation with somebody, and I said, nobody's talking about this.
Yeah.
And he just points out, he goes, well, that's not true because you are. You know,
Exactly.
and so
You are.
that was just one of those things where, I said that, and that it's not a true statement. And so
Mm-mm.
someone that's saying, to like, listening to this and saying like that there's nothing there's nothing that I can think of when you say find that thing that you love to do.
Yeah.
I think I would just, and I'm curious what your thoughts are, but I would just say to that person, like, you know, I think that person maybe needs a little bit more self-reflection, or ask their friends and family about it. Ask their coworkers about it. Like, "Hey, what do you see my interest as?" And stuff like that. And then maybe start there, right? Like, someone that's starting from scratch like that. Do you have anything else to say on that?
Yeah, man. Well, I got to go back to it, bro. I got to go back to it.
Yeah.
But let's search for what you love to do.
Yeah.
You might not be doing it early in the morning. I don't know. You like, for example, you like running.
Yeah. I don't.
Exactly.
Cripple
You
jokes
like
for the
you
win.
like rolling.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But you know, I asked him. He might be a runner.
Yeah.
I asked him, like, how did it make you feel?
Mm,
It made me feel good, man. It made me feel all
yeah.
right. This, that. I imagine this and I imagine that when I'm running, man. I'm in my
Mhm.
own world when I'm running. This, that, whatever. You know, hey man, let's start a run group, man.
Yeah.
And that puts you in a leadership role.
Oh, I love that. Start your own thing if
Yeah,
you
that,
can't
that
find
puts you
it.
that puts you in a leadership role.
Mhm.
You know, have people run with you.
Yeah.
You know, there's runners out here.
Mhm.
You know, but I mean that's where I would start. I would start to try to get them to catch a hold and give birth to
Mm.
what they love to do,
Yeah.
and then give it to the world as a gift.
Ah, I love that. Give
Yeah,
it to the
man.
world as a gift.
Yeah, man. We all got gifts inside of us, man, and it's our responsibility. I truly believe that it's our responsibility to share it with the world.
Yeah.
God gives you a gift, and you must open it up and share it with the world.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and this is how you gonna get paid back.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You take care of them, they're gonna take care of you.
one thing I've been thinking about a lot recently is, you always hear the phrase "find your passion,"
Yeah.
right? And it's like for me, I had interests of being like a tennis coach, a wheelchair tennis coach for the longest time,
Yeah.
but it was there was so much to it it was just overwhelming to me.
Uh,
And um it didn't end up happening until I got in with Cincinnati Tennis Foundation,
okay.
and they did a lot of the back end stuff, like helping me take payments, scheduling court time, making sure all the equipment's there, like balls and stuff like that. And like all I had to do, and all I have to do, is show up and coach. And
Yeah.
that was my passion, you know. And,
Yeah.
and so all the other stuff, that the admin stuff that you have to do with that, it was like I just didn't really want to do any
Yeah.
of that. And
Yeah.
so that whole find a passion, I've been thinking about, like, for someone that doesn't know what their passion is, it's like go out, find things, like just like go join a Boxercise class, right? Like, see if you like that. If you don't, no problem. Go take an art class
Right.
or whatever else. And it's like to the now, that seems like maybe it could be a lot of work for somebody, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
man, I don't wanna try all these things just to not like them and all that." It's like,
Yeah.
I almost equate it to, like, dating online, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's so much time that you spend just trying to meet the one, right? That it's like an hour here, hour there, a couple $100 out of your pocket as a result, right? Like, and it's like, "For what?" And it's like, for me, now that I have this passion, and like doing all the MMA stuff in the gym
Yeah.
and stuff like that, like my out of work life is just so flourishing right now
Yeah.
that I wish I could just put put that passion into somebody else that they just know, you know, and they can find that faster than I did, you know.
Yeah.
And it's sounds like for you, you've always been passionate about boxing and all that. So it's like for you, it almost like was something that you just knew from day one. For me, I mean, yeah, I like tennis. I like different wheelchair sports. I like the disabled community, but like I didn't know how to get started and all that
Right.
and be the person that I am today. And so it's just interesting that whole find your passion type thing. Bless you. Um,
Uh, but yeah, man. Uh, I'm on another journey. I'm on another journey. I'm doing what I love to do. I believe that I'm working in in my garden,
mhm,
and and I'm watering my seeds, and I'm not digging up my seeds too early to try to see if they flourishing or not. I'm
mm,
just working every day, believing in what I have,
mm,
and but the new thing that I'm learning, because we learn every day, right? I've been in business 8 years now, and I am evolving in the business. So now I'm learning more stuff. Basically, I'm turning into a businessman.
mm,
So at the end of the day, I'm building my brand, Boxercise, powered by the Cincinnati Trainer.
mm,
I'm building that, and um, I am. The ultimate goal is to step away
mm,
from the physical training
yeah,
and just have this business running,
mm,
established, and like you remember Moore's Nautilus?
no,
You don't? Okay, then
mm.
we'll go to Planet Fitness then.
Wait, Morris Nautilus is a gym?
It used to be.
Oh no, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Okay, it's old.
Yeah,
I'm 51.
yeah, yeah, right. Wow. No, I'm kidding.
We will still with Planet Fitness.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
But Planet Fitness everywhere. It's
yeah,
established, man. Do
yeah.
you know the owner of Planet Fitness?
Mm-mm.
I know. That's my
Oh,
point.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. I wanna be established like that.
Yeah.
And they everywhere. Planet Fitness is everywhere.
Mhm.
I want Cincinnati Trainer to be like everywhere, man. And you don't know me, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. You don't know me, man, but the business is going like years. When I'm gone, man.
Yeah,
You don't know the owner of McDonald's, do you?
yeah,
He probably passed away,
yeah,
but the
right?
McDonald's still rolling.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I want it, man. I want to leave my legacy here.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. So, one of the things that I heard you say from going from boxing to running a business is that you're learning.
Yeah,
And I think, instead of trying different things out for this person who doesn't have their passion, who hasn't found it, right? They can learn, right? And it's like it's a pretty easy thing to do to figure out like different things that you want to learn, and you can jump on YouTube and listen to a few podcasts about it or
right.
whatever else. So I mean that even could be a great start too. So
Yeah,
um yeah, that's interesting, the legacy that you wanna leave as well. So, like, you don't like, so Elon Musk, of course, like, he's very well known.
right,
The businesses that he runs and stuff like that. So, you would rather be I don't know who the CEO of GE of GE is,
right,
General Electric, right?
right,
So but I do know the CEO of Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff
right.
Bezos is Amazon and all that. So you would rather be one of those CEOs that like nobody could that people have heard of Boxercise, but maybe haven't they couldn't tell you who the CEO is, right? You want to be that kind of person, or would you rather be like an Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg
No, I
type
mean,
of?
you can you can know me,
Yeah.
but so what I'm saying, like with Elon Musk and the Facebook, as long as they don't shut Facebook down and they don't go nowhere no more, like I'm sure they got some platforms out there that ain't that ain't moving no more.
Yeah.
Can't name them off the top of my head, but anyway, when when they pass away.
Mhm.
uh, Years down the line, they company still standing.
Yeah.
But that generation, them years down the line, I don't know, it might be 100 years down the line, it might be 50, 60, 70, 80 years down the line.
Mhm.
That generation ain't gonna know who Mark Zuckerman is. Not
True.
unless somebody tell them
True. Yeah.
and then show them a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So
Yeah. That makes sense.
like I'm sure a whole lot of people knew who the owner of McDonald's was during that time that he was around and making his,
Right.
you know, he was there and the business is going and everybody, hey,
Yeah.
that's Ronald McDonald's right there. That's
Right.
him. There you go, right? Let's take a picture.
Right.
Everybody know him. But he gone now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's years
That makes
later
sense.
down the line. McDonald's been established way back then.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna be able to. I mean, not unless you look him up on your phone,
Yeah.
You Google his face, like
Right.
who's the owner of McDonald's?
Yeah.
Then you find him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Makes
like
that makes perfect sense.
yeah,
So,
I want to be established years
yeah.
to come. Like yeah, this is like Planet Fitness, man. He might be still alive. I don't know. He, she,
Yeah, I don't
whoever
know.
it is,
Yeah.
the group of them or whatever.
Yeah.
You saying
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
might be still around,
Yeah.
but um, I don't know who they are.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to build this boxing legacy, this business.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment that you've been doing this where you almost walked away from it? The boxing, the training, the all that?
Now, it was never a moment that I almost walked away. Um, I haven't got to that point yet.
Mm. So there wasn't ever a doubt in your mind, or you're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to keep doing this or anything like that.
No,
That's awesome. That's
I ain't
that's
there
awesome.
yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still willing to go through the trials and tribulations, man. And I know that, every day we are learning. Every day you will fumble. And I know that each time that you fumble
Mm.
or fail, you want to think, fail forward, meaning you learn from your failure
Yeah,
and you keep going because on the end of them failures is the win.
yeah.
So many successful people failed, many, but you don't hear about that.
Right.
You just hear about the
Yeah.
win.
Right. You do.
But
Yeah.
you don't hear about all the failures that they went through
Yeah.
before they got to win.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit more about failure. And the reason I say this, I'll preface it with this. I think we're in a world today, and maybe it's not just today. It's the all time, but I think there's a lot of people that are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And do you get that sentiment? I mean, you're old, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. No, but
Still young.
yeah, you definitely look it.
Backwards, champ.
You definitely look it, right. But no, but like, do you get that sentiment of like of people of today versus maybe when you were growing up or whatever else that like seems like more people are like just so the reaction is, oh, I'm afraid to fail, so I won't even do anything hard.
Yeah, man. We got this social media do a lot of that, man, because
Mm.
we do a lot of comparison, man. A lot of competition,
Ooh,
like a
yeah.
lot of comparison ourselves. We looking at the social media. They business doing better than mine.
Mm.
It seemed like it.
Mm.
We put a lot of beautiful stuff on Facebook, make
Yeah.
ourselves look good.
Yeah.
Make it look like we're doing better than what we actually are.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna post a whole lot of failures
Yeah.
on social media. We're gonna make our business look good, of course, right?
Yeah. Right.
So as people are looking at it,
Mhm.
that's what they doing. They compare it and then they think about this, like, man, you know, thriving like it should be, this and that and the other, and so we, I believe that we get caught up in a competition instead of creativity.
Mm.
And creativity is what's going to do it for us. Competition is what's going to not do it for you.
Yeah. I, I I
You
think
know.
the age old quote, you've probably heard this: comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, man. You start feeling bad about yourself and stuff like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't say I do it. I mean, I don't say I don't say I don't do it because, like, once again, you know, I'm human.
Mhm.
This is just in our nature. It's just
Yeah.
how we deal with it.
Mhm.
So I see other gyms,
Mhm.
and they look like they doing their thing, and they probably is,
Mhm.
but they doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how they got the money.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did who they know and how they this, that, and the other. There might be some people that was started at the bottom like I did.
Mhm.
We both going to say, and then they flourishing.
Yeah.
But I ain't hanging around them.
Right.
And so they know different people than I know. And, they understanding maybe better than I am.
Mhm.
And so they get the fruits of their labor
Yeah.
because of that.
Mhm.
But once again, as long as you don't give up, your time comes too.
Mm.
It comes around. So
Love
you'll
that.
end up meeting, you might even meet some of the people that other person met who
Yeah.
came up.
Yeah.
And then your time will come. Your time will
Mhm.
come. It might take a couple years.
Mhm.
But then because it's taking so long and you're going through these failures,
Mhm.
you give up.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, man. You give
so
up.
true.
Like, I ain't got it.
Yeah.
I gotta go to do something else.
Yeah. Another quote that I've heard that I absolutely love, that I almost live by, that I try to live by. Have you ever heard of Jordan Peterson?
No.
He was a clinical psychologist, and he's wrote he's done a lot of like self help stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he said is, he's got these rules for life, and one of his rules for life is, don't compare yourself to others, but compare yourself to how you were yesterday.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
right.
And I just love that. It's like, I'll definitely like comparing myself to 5-year-old Zach, or 5 years ago Zach, or
Right.
10 years ago Zach. Me Zach,
Yeah.
not you.
Mm.
But I didn't know you 5 years ago. But I have to be a little grateful and give myself a pat on the back and be like, wow, like you've came this far, and you're already on this trajectory that's hopefully going to keep going. So,
Yeah, man.
um, yeah.
That's exactly right, man. You look at yourself. That's
Mhm.
it, man. You ain't in competition with nobody but your own self.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. So you just have to be patient,
Mhm.
love yourself, look in the mirror, tell yourself, I love you, I love you, Zach. You're doing great
I
things,
love you
this
too,
and that.
Zach.
Okay. That's
Sorry,
right, champ.
I had to throw that in there.
That's right. That's right. Hey, brotherly love, baby.
First time I've said I love you to someone on the show.
Love each other, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. But we gotta do that, man. We gotta pat ourselves on the back, man. Um, no one can save us but us
Yeah.
or ourselves, man.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into present day and you coaching. How would you describe your approach to coaching?
I teach people how to box, really box.
Mm.
Now, there is so what I found is a community of people are is it's a community of people out here who like want to know what it is and curious about how a boxer stays in such tip top shape.
Mm.
And so they want to get in, they want to see how it is, they want to go through through the workouts,
Yeah.
but they don't want to get hit.
Mm.
So I solved that problem
Yeah.
with Boxercise.
Mm.
And so These individuals can come in from any age and ability, and they can work out with me
Mhm.
like a professional,
Mhm.
especially the ones who are, because like I said, I work with just like you yourself. Um, you got a disability where you have to be in a
I do?
wheelchair.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, man, you still.
What? Ah,
Yeah,
dang. Why
so,
did I know? It's been no, I'm just kidding.
so I train people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I train people in wheelchairs, man. I
Oh, you
train
have.
people. Yeah,
Okay.
like you got people who suffer from Parkinson's,
Yeah.
and they really can't walk.
Mhm.
They be in a wheelchair,
Mhm.
but they still need to be able to move.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I cover all of that from kids and but
So
I actually train people how to box for real. I give
yeah.
them the actual real deal boxing, not just going through the motions, because this boxing exercise is a fad.
Mm,
And that's why people love coming to me
yeah.
opposed to going to like Title
Mm,
or Mayweather Fitness.
yeah. Yeah.
Because they actually, leave learning how to box and
Mm,
they get in shape.
yeah.
They train like the pros without taking the blows.
Yeah, and all the times that I've seen you, you've done, like, one-on-one sessions, right?
Right. So
Do
it's exclusive.
do you ever do group sessions
And
or
I do group sessions. I do group sessions because I'm a mobile boxing fitness instructor. And
Mhm.
so I go out to different corporations and I do group sessions for their employees.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right. So that's a benefit for them different corporations.
Yeah.
The clients don't have to pay for it, the company do it.
Mm,
So that's good. So I do,
cool.
I go to schools
Yeah.
and I train children
Okay.
with a so what I bring to the school is my program called Shocker Bully.
Shockabully, okay.
Shocker Bully, which
Mhm.
is an anti-bullying program for kids. Boxercise anti-bullying program for kids,
Cool.
where they learn how to exercise correct way, learn how to box, learn how to build confidence within themselves,
Yeah.
and not and to recognize a bully,
Mhm.
don't be a bully,
Yeah.
and tell the top authorities that if they recognize some bullies out there that's doing something they shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
they can tell the top authorities without being afraid that
Mm.
if I tattletale, which they
Mhm.
call it, like tattletale,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get beat up by 'em.
Right.
I could defend myself
Yeah.
if it come down to that,
Yeah.
But that's what I do, man.
I have a philosophy. Well, maybe I don't know if it's a philosophy. I've had the thought, like, as I've been doing this training and all that, that like I feel like in schools everybody needs to take a class like that. Everybody
Yeah,
needs to
yeah.
get good at being able to defend themselves or others if need be. And the first rule of like MMA type things is like if you get into a conflict, de-escalate. If you can get out of the situation because it's not de-escalating, get out of the situation.
Right.
And then if you absolutely need to, maybe you can disable a person, not physically disabled like me, but like you can incapacitate maybe is a better word. you can you can
Yeah.
incapacitate a person. So I think do you feel like that's missing in schools, or would you like to see that if like you were in control of the schools, would you put kids through some sort of like fight training or something like that?
I grew up in schools where they had wrestling.
Okay.
Wrestling was one of the ways that you can it was considered like a self defense too.
Mm. What can you expand on wrestling?
So wrestling, where you learn how to grab somebody, you learn how to slam somebody, you
Mhm.
learn how to hold somebody down.
Oh, or did you say wrestling?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said wrastling
Well,
or
that's the
something.
way
Maybe the
that's a wrestling. At the end of the day, MMA, if that's better for you.
yeah.
But
Wrestling. Got it. Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
right, yeah. So that's where I grew up, man. I did about 6 years of that,
Okay.
like 2 in junior high school and 4 in high school.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I wrestling. Can I say it right that time?
Yeah, no,
Wrestling, right?
well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard wrestling before. Maybe that's I don't know, a Cincinnati thing. I'm from Columbus, but yeah, wrestling is how I pronounce it.
It
It's
sounds so.
whatever. Yeah.
It sounds similar to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you had a yeah, it doesn't matter. But okay, so you did wrestling back in the day, and
Yeah.
that yeah,
But they provided that in the schools.
okay, to
Wrestling.
all kids.
Yeah, to all kids.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I mean even girls.
Yeah.
But you know, Western Hills takes on Aiken High School,
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing about it is you are building strength because you gotta exercise,
Yeah.
you gotta lift your weights.
Right.
So you learn all this stuff in school.
Mhm.
And, with that being said, I was always this athletic person
Yeah.
up until this day. So
Mhm.
my sport, where I was good at, was these one-on-one sports
Right.
like the wrestling, the boxing. Yes, I
Right.
played team sports also,
Right.
like football. But I excelled in these wrestling and boxing. That's where I excelled at.
Right, right, right.
Um, to go back to answer your question, they got they got boxing in some of these schools. Well, they got them in the colleges.
Mhm.
Should they be in high schools and stuff, and maybe elementaries? I would say yes, man.
Yeah.
I would say yes. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
they should have them in there, man.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it would teach you discipline. You know, it would teach you it would teach you all them things, and then
Yeah.
when one person know that they might not step to that person or,
Right.
or try that other person because
Mhm.
they know that hey, he boxed too, he might just crack
Right.
me back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
It might
yeah.
slow stuff down. It's kind of like they
Mhm.
doing now. They done passed out the law that everybody's allowed to carry guns.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you more skeptical about rolling up on somebody because
Right.
you don't know if they gonna
Mhm.
shoot you or not.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah.
know if they got a gun or not, but they're allowed to have it.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, so what's something you're personally trying to level up in right now?
I'm trying to level up in my business.
Yeah. Okay. What's like you're like what's 2 or 3 things that you're trying to level up specifically?
Well, by 20, what is it? 25 right now.
Yep.
By the end of 25, beginning of 26, I want to level up to like 2 or 3 trainers.
Mm.
Um, by the time 27 come around, I would like these trainers to be moving around in these different. I told you I'm mobile,
Yeah.
so moving around in these different areas and taking on some of these corporate establishments that I
Mm.
have, so I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
You know, in 2028, I should have my own at least to own my own building,
That's awesome.
so I can do just like you did in here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just fix it up, fancy it up the way that
Mhm.
I see that it'll generate a lot of income
Yeah.
and people enjoy themselves.
Mhm.
Find air conditioning in there if they need, because I got clients who's always complaining it's hot in here.
Yeah.
Find air conditioning going. Um, a lot of open space,
Mhm.
boxing rings.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna end up putting the boxing ring in here too. But
Okay, okay.
we will do that. But anyway,
That'd be cool.
boxing rings, cafeteria. I like to add a nutrition
Mhm.
to the building.
Yeah.
to my business.
Yeah.
I already do meal plans,
Yeah.
but I like to add an actual, cafeteria
Yeah.
where people can come in and get their food.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, get
Okay.
their food for they, breakfast,
Yeah.
lunch, and
Yeah.
dinner.
Cool.
Big dreams I got, man.
Yeah.
Big dreams.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the most meaningful feedback you've received from someone you trained?
Oh man. So I had I had a client yesterday who actually said, "Man, I really appreciate you. You've changed my life so much.
Oh,
I used to drink a lot.
yeah.
I used to, I go to school and I go to school for mental health.
Mm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
school for mental health. My father passed away,
Mm-hmm.
suicide, this, that, and the other. And I was in a dark place. And when I met you, you really helped turn my life around,
That's
man.
awesome.
You gave me a lot of positive.
Yeah.
Um, you gave me a lot of positive,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 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 seeds in my head.
Yeah.
Training every day. I haven't drunk since you told me that I shouldn't be. So it's been a couple months with this guy.
Yeah.
Um, and I've lost about, what do you say, 10 pounds.
Nice.
Since, and I feel, I feel a lot better, man. My energy's done went up,
Mm.
and I'm ready to spar, which he had. He done
Mm.
had his first sparring session,
That's awesome.
and he feeling really, really, really good, man.
That's
You
great.
met him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you talked to him,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I think just in the coaching world, that's something that is so that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I do coach, right? And like with disability specifically, people struggle with independence from time to time.
right,
Excuse me. They struggle with independence, and if I can teach them how to be a little bit more independent, like,
yeah,
that's a win for me, you
mm,
know? If I can push them to just be a little bit better and do things on their own,
yeah,
I that's a win for me. Like, it almost has nothing to do with the tennis. Obviously, I love tennis and I love coaching it, but, like, like, there's a bit of conditioning with it, and some of those kids, they sit in a wheelchair all day in a classroom, and then they go home and they're playing their iPad, or I
right,
don't know what they do, right? But, like, if I can do some conditioning with those kids to get them to that next level, like,
yeah.
that dude, that's the most impactful thing,
Ain't it, man?
that you can do as a
It feel
coach, I think.
it feel good.
I love that,
It
yeah.
feel really good.
Yeah, let's do the theme question. What keeps you rolling forward?
My children, man.
Your
My
children.
yeah. So yeah. So um, well, my children, yes.
Mm,
Uh, specifically, all my children, but specifically, my oldest daughter.
mm.
She followed my role, and she became a entrepreneur
Ah,
by following her father.
doing
She's a
boxing?
no, she is a mobile dog groomer.
Oh,
She
wow.
specializes in grooming pets,
Yeah.
and she has excelled. And because of her acceleration, I mean, I think she done passed me.
Mm.
And like I've been doing it longer, but like I said before, it's about who you surround yourself with,
Mhm.
who's giving you the game. She learned a lot. I think she's learned a lot more because she's then told taught me.
Yeah.
Now she helps me out in my business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, by turning me on to certain things. And just to name a few, like I'm with a group called the African American Chamber, which is you ever heard of them?
I think so.
The African
Tell
American
me more about
Chamber
them.
is a is a community or a group of entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
or they teach people how to be. They teach people in their entrepreneur journey
Yeah.
how to navigate through their entrepreneur journey.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of resources there,
Yeah.
from learning how to get a lawyer, learning how to get leverage with financing,
Yeah.
um, financial literacy.
Right.
Uh, it's just, and they just got the hookup,
Right. Yeah.
right? And they,
Awesome.
and if you're a part of them, you know, they help you in these areas.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter, who owns Pop and Paws,
Mm.
you know, who owns Pop and Paws, um, she took advantage of this,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was working for her. She said, "Pops, you need to get involved."
Yeah.
And I got involved, and so it's helping me out, and I'm actually going through some financial literacy financial literacy courses myself,
That's great.
which is another world for me because I'm used to just my CPA, my
Right.
tax person,
Yeah.
just handling all my business,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now I'm looking at the numbers
Mm.
myself and learning how to balance cash flow statements and P&Ls and
Yeah.
balance sheets, and I'm gonna learn. And that's when you're new to something, it ain't easy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's uncomfortable, and uncomfortable means that you leveling up.
Right.
And so that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at in my life. I'm about being uncomfortable, man, and
Yeah.
and trying to just grow
Right.
and grow and grow and grow. And so to stick with your question, my daughter's watching me, so that
Mm.
holds accountability.
Oh.
So that makes me have to go and keep going because I always told her never give up.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat my words. She say, "Pop, you know, we
Mm-hmm.
can't give up. You
Mm-hmm.
always told me never give up, and this, that, and the other."
Yeah.
So I don't believe in that. Um, I want my children to do better than me.
Right.
In other words, yes, I want them to do great. I'm not in competition with them. Yes, I
Right.
want them to do better than me. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to slack off.
Yeah. Right.
And like, I just want to see my kids just do better than me. So I ain't gonna do nothing no more because I just want to watch them go get it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the greatest feelings that you could probably have in life is just being training for lack of a better word, training your kids to be a better person than you are yourself,
I
and
mean,
that's so awesome.
right. So we feed off of each other's energy,
Mhm.
and that's what keep me rolling. I want to do more for my parents,
Yeah.
more for my children.
Yeah.
I love to generate the money to be able to back my daughters,
Mm.
back my daughter in her business. And maybe that'd be the same with her for me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man. It's just and and just help as many people as I can, man.
I love that. So
Yeah,
tell me more about your kids. How many kids do you have?
I got four,
You have 4.
three,
Okay.
three, three girls and a son.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
what's one of the most important values that you feel you've instilled in all of them?
Well, to always believe in within themselves,
Yeah.
believe God within themselves. There
Yeah.
you go. But believe in God within themselves, and once again, find what you love to do
Yeah.
and do it at your best ability, and that's where you're gonna find your treasure at.
Yeah.
My daughter did that.
Mhm.
I'm talking about Pop and Pause.
Yeah.
You know, uh, she did that. Her name is Zakayla, but she did that, and
Mhm.
that's what she do. She went to school. I told her never stop. What you start, go ahead and finish it. So she started college. She was ready to quit because it was a lot of, I ain't got the money, this and that and the other.
Right.
I'm tired. I ain't gonna go to school for social work anyway. I mean, I'm
Right.
not going to go to work in social work anyway. That's what she was going to school for.
Right.
I said, it don't matter. I don't care about, that don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Finish anyway.
Mm.
That tells a big story about you.
It
When you
does.
go out here to this corporate world, like, you
Yeah.
finish. You can always fall back if you needed to.
Right.
You got that to fall back on.
Sure.
But if you're not, it don't matter. You still do it. That says something about you.
Mm.
And there it is.
Yeah.
So she got her business. I don't have to fund her. I think that she make more money than I do.
Nice.
I'm dead serious too. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. She make more money than I do. And I've been doing this 8 years. She only been doing it like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh man, and so that's why I'm still in them to believe in themselves,
Yeah.
and believe in God within them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no limit.
Yeah.
There's no limit, to what they can accomplish and have, and they'll never be bums.
Yeah. That's great.
They'll never be
Yeah.
bums.
Yeah.
Never.
I hope
From
one
the
day
start
when
of
I
life.
yeah, I hope one day when I have kids, I'll be able to instill those values as well. That's awesome.
Beautiful when you see it come to fruition.
Yeah.
You talking to them when they're young.
Right. Yeah.
Sound like they ain't listening. They look
Yeah.
like they ain't sound like they ain't listening. And then one day, your kids be listening, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What internal war are you still in the middle of?
Oh man, just the worldly, just satisfying my flesh, man. Like I said, being a leader,
Yeah.
following, being an example
Yeah.
of this fitness trainer. They think
Yeah.
that we, most people think that we like are like preachers, like gods or something like that. Like we don't make mistakes.
Right.
Like we don't come, we ain't allowed to come short or something like that.
Right.
And so, like I said, I like your regular foods,
Mm-hmm.
but the people are like, man, what you eating this for? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you got sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
What you doing? You know what I mean? Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, it's almost like you're sinning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there be things I battle with because I know that, if you want to lose weight, you need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a lifetime journey until if you're a real one like that,
Yeah.
until you're in the grave.
Yeah.
This is just what it is.
Mhm.
And that's just like a preacher.
Mm.
It's what it is. God said this, God said that, do this, do that, do that. They're expecting you to do that as a
Yeah.
preacher.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah. Right.
And then I could possibly do it too.
Yeah.
If you doing it. But as soon as I see you fall,
Yeah.
oh man, you're a hypocrite.
Mm.
And they shame you for it.
Mm. Hey, I want to be respectful of your time. We've been going for 2 hours, 23 minutes.
Yeah, man, you owe me some money.
Yeah, well, when I make it big and collect my millions, I'll be sure to bring you along, right? The millions of people that are gonna watch this. So are we still good to keep going, or?
Yeah, how long you got?
Well, I've got like just a few more segments, and if that's all right.
A few mean 3.
Yeah. So I want to get into disability, and then maybe maybe one other topic after that.
All right, go ahead.
Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So getting into disability, you've already said that you've worked with wheelchair athletes. Sounds like maybe Parkinson some, and
Yeah,
and
so I
all
didn't
that.
say wheelchair athletes, but I did say Parkinson's.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you said you've worked with somebody in a wheelchair, but
I have.
you have. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Parkinson's. They have
Oh,
Parkinson's.
okay. So they're in a wheelchair and they have Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. What else? What other experiences have you had interacting with disabilities?
Uh, I had some of them didn't have like Parkinson's. Um, well, for example, I had a person who had they wasn't disability like they just had a broken leg and they
Mm,
can walk on their crutches
yeah,
and they can walk. They've been in a wheelchair,
yeah,
so when they work out, I have them sit in a wheelchair
mm,
and work out.
yeah,
So basically, they'll use their weights.
yeah,
We'll do our boxing in the wheelchair, put on
right,
the miss head, strike the miss, move their head.
yeah.
You know, oh, so
I like it.
and that goes with this, with another one who had Parkinson's. Now they had to be wheelchair bound,
Mhm.
and we did a lot of stuff in the wheelchair. Also, they was maybe 70 something, you know,
Mm,
and but it was a beautiful, it was a beautiful thing because they still got what they wanted,
yeah,
and that was a movement and the joy of someone being there who care
yeah,
about their well-being,
yeah.
and that plays a mental role too because
Mhm.
when you're in that state, people kind of like dismiss you. You're in a nursing home.
Yeah.
She was in a nursing home,
Mhm.
but you're in a nursing home. Family ain't really coming around like that.
Mhm.
So
So
have a personal trainer come and see you. You know,
yeah,
once or twice a week.
yeah,
Spend an hour or so with you.
yeah,
That's a good feeling for them. So,
right,
so it's about the movement, of course, the physical movement, but
yeah,
it's about the feeling that you get. They
right,
keep you alive. You're
yeah.
anticipating on this company coming.
Mhm.
You're getting company like that, like all the time.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been, I guess, on this journey with, is whenever I'm around a new able-bodied person,
Yeah,
I often think that there's an elephant in the room
yeah,
around my disability and
yeah.
me being in a wheelchair and
Okay.
stuff like that. So, like, I think mostly it stems from curiosity, but of like, well, why is this person in a wheelchair? But also, I have been around some people that might be just unsure how to interact with somebody in a wheelchair or respond and all that. So, just from your personal experience, when you first meet someone with a visible disability, do you feel a shift in how you act or think?
No,
Yeah, I figured that would be your answer. It's you seem to treat everybody the same. Is there a curiosity that you have of like, oh, I wonder what they're capable of, or I wonder why they're disabled, or anything like that?
no.
Okay, that's interesting to hear you say that.
No.
I'm
Um,
I'm always curious, like, no matter what person is in a wheelchair, I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what they have." Sometimes I can guess it because, like, I've spina bifida and, like, I think a lot of people with spina bifida have a certain look to them, but anyway, what were you gonna say?
so I don't. So first of all, I don't go in with a judgmental mind. Everybody is human. At the end of the day,
Mhm.
everybody got equal rights.
Mhm.
Just because you can't move your legs,
Yeah.
you can move your everything else.
Yeah.
Or just because you don't have no arms,
Mhm.
you can move your legs.
Yeah.
So what I do know is about people that have different disabilities
Mhm.
is the disability that they have. The other part that is able gets stronger.
That's true.
If you deaf,
Mhm.
you got eyes,
Mhm.
you probably can see a lot better or something.
Yeah.
Or if you don't got eyes, you probably can hear a lot better.
Right.
You ain't got no arms.
Mhm.
You probably learn how to do things with your feet. You
Mhm.
don't have shoes on a lot. You
Yeah.
doing stuff with your feet, cooking
Right.
with your feet, and
Right.
you know, there's even people out there who be driving. So
Yeah.
I give everybody still an equal opportunity. This is why I say that I am the Cincinnati Trainer, meaning that I can train anyone at any ability level,
Yeah.
and I can.
Yeah.
So I don't turn nobody away,
Yeah.
not unless you just on the bed. If you're
Yeah.
on the bed laid down, then I can't do nothing with you.
Right.
But if you're in a wheelchair, you're able to walk.
Have them headbutt.
Exactly right. Gotta get close to them first.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Exactly. But so that's where I'm at with it. You can have MS,
Yeah.
you have Parkinson's,
Yeah.
you can have you know um, autism.
Yeah.
I don't train people with autism.
Right.
Autism, and you have to learn how to work with all these different abilities and mentalities.
Yeah.
Autism is actually the mentality.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they
I
go, yeah,
I think one of the cool things about a coach is a coach who's able to even just with able-bodied players, but also with disabled players is someone who can understand your limitations
right.
and your strengths and adapt accordingly, right?
That's
Like
me.
and your goals in life. Like somebody that might want to lose weight versus someone that wants to strength train with
Right.
you is going to be a different format and a
Yeah.
different style and all that. So, um, all right. So, what do you think able-bodied people still get wrong about disability?
And that they can't fight.
Yeah. That they can't fight.
They
That's so
can't fight.
good. Yeah.
I'll whoop him.
Yeah, right?
Oh man. Or they might not be as smart,
Mm,
maybe. They can be easily took advantage of,
yeah.
and so they be easy targets.
Mhm.
And so yeah, man, that's what I think, man. Like
Yeah.
come in, if you got a criminal mind on you and you see a
Mhm.
disabled person,
Mhm.
you think that they can't defend themselves,
Right.
or they're not smart enough. If you just trying to talk to them
Yeah.
and you know, s- uh, I forgot the word, finesse them
Yeah.
out of what it is that you're trying to get out of them,
Yeah.
because you think that I don't know, they just look at you differently, like you ain't got them all.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So,
ain't clever enough or something. Like you ain't smart.
yeah, here's a complete hypothetical that I wonder from time to time.
Yeah,
So let's say somebody is like a serial mugger or
yeah,
something like that. Like they wanna rob you, take your phone, take your wallet.
right.
Do you think those people, and I don't know how you know this, but like this is just again strictly hypothetical. Do you think those people would have would target more able-bodied people, and they might see a person in a wheelchair and have sympathy on them? I'm like, "Ah, I can't stoop that low."
Man, it just depends on. I think it depends on the mindset of the criminal,
Yeah,
because some of them just really don't have they
awareness.
no heart,
Yeah,
no soul, like
yeah,
no conviction about,
yeah,
they already looking for the weakest link that they
right.
could get,
That's true.
you know, and if they see a person, if you look like you got some value about yourself,
Right.
but then you look weak in some areas that I can take advantage of and take that value from you.
Mm.
I don't care about you being, not me personally, but
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't care about you being in no wheelchair.
yeah.
You easy.
Right, right.
You a mark, man. You
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, man.
It's
It just depends on, you know, the criminal, man.
yeah, yeah. Knock on wood, but I've never been mugged,
Yeah.
and as with that same kind of mindset, I'm actually kind of surprised. Like I mean, I don't necessarily put myself in a bad neighborhood or whatever else, but like like I'm
Let,
moderately surprised I've made it this far without getting mugged.
let me say this. Let me
Yeah,
say this.
yeah, yeah,
All right. So you got extra. I mean, I know we. Okay. So you got X. I don't know if I can say this or not, but well, You got ex-drug dealers maybe, or they might still be drug dealers, right?
Yeah.
They've been shot.
Yeah.
They paralyzed.
Yeah.
They still in drug. They still in the drug life.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are easy target.
Yeah. So
They
true.
valuable.
Yeah.
But the able body
Mm-hmm.
feels that he's a easier target
Mm-hmm.
because he is in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get him.
Yeah.
He can protect himself.
Yeah.
I mean, the disabled body, and the disabled body knows it too.
Mm-hmm.
He might got weapons on him or something like that because he knows like
True.
I'm not as strong as I was. I'm a wounded lion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They after me.
Yeah.
They coming to get me.
Yeah, I know people, not many, but I have known people who have gotten shot. I do know somebody who was in a world like that and kind of turned their life around once they got injured. You know,
Right.
just because they're like, whoa, like this isn't worth losing my life over. I'm out, right?
Yeah.
Like I already got shot and I'm paralyzed and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so you mentioned wheelchair boxing
Oh, yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
Now I never seen it. Only seen it on social media.
Yeah,
But
sure.
it's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is I don't think that's ever come across my feed.
Yeah.
Like I've never I don't think I've seen and I haven't Googled wheelchair boxing per se either, but
Yeah.
that's interesting. Do you know, like, are they strapped down and like they're like 2 feet away from each other?
Right.
And they
Yeah.
just move their
They
torso.
move the torso, man, and they be swinging
Interesting.
at each other.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, so like in most sports, you're strapped in. I'm sure they're strapped in a wheelchair in the boxing. But I wonder what that would be like to just get knocked out. You just like, I mean, you can't fall to the ground if you're strapped in and your chair is, yeah, you just slump over. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So I can only imagine they're not throwing with all their body weight. The only punches that you feeling is the arm punches.
Yeah.
Arm punches are not as effective as your whole body weight. They can't put their whole body weight into it. They can't stand up. They sitting in the chair, so you just swing with all arm. So it's probably not that hard.
Yeah.
So they probably can still get knocked out.
You think so?
If you hit it right on the button,
Right.
right where it need to be hit.
Right.
They ain't gonna get hit in the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't get hit in the body.
Right.
They sitting down here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They sitting down
They're
here.
pretty well protected.
Yeah. You know, they hit maybe in the arm or something like, but that's like a block.
Yeah.
The only target they got is the head.
Yeah.
And your hands is up here a lot of times. It's hard to get the guards. I mean, get the punches in. So they welling and welling, and so they looking for that lucky shot. So but like I said, I never seen it in real life. I just seen it on the social media. Them fighting like that, and they fight kind of wild.
Yeah.
No skill behind it.
So the next question, this is kind of fun. If someone gave you $10,000 to never box again, or $10,000 to never box again or train, let's amp it up because I think the answer is clearly no. Okay, well, $1 million. We'll start there.
Yeah.
If someone gave you $1 million to stop boxing, one, when you were in your boxing career,
Right.
but then two, if someone now gave you $1 million to stop training people, would you?
Yeah.
You would. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
all right.
Now hold on.
Go ahead.
Because what you said was me stop
Mm.
training people. So yeah, I invest in my business and I get it to where it need to go.
Yeah.
And I have my trainers take care of business.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you see people that you train with potentially becoming those coaches that you want? Or
I tried I tried a few of them. I tried one.
Mm,
I tried one,
yeah,
but I can see a couple of them potentially being a trainer if they wanted to go there. I
yeah.
offered it to one of my clients. It didn't work out.
Mm,
Um, but you know, but I think that's one of the best ways to go because they know what I want. They know what I
mhm.
expect. They doing it all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would reach out to my clients and ask one of them.
Mhm.
Well, I would ask again, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe one or two final questions. What scares you about who you're becoming?
Uh, Um, not, you know, running out. Well, we're scared of running out of money.
Mm,
Running out of
yeah.
money. Running out of money. You ain't totally out of business, but you're out of business.
Mhm.
You had to start from ground zero. That means
Mhm.
you're gonna have to get another job.
Mm,
Save your money because you got to live, man. And
mhm.
so that scares me. So
Yeah.
mismanaging money, man.
Yeah.
Mismanaging money.
I had an uncle who said he's a business owner, and he said, uh, "I wake up unemployed every day."
Yeah.
And I love that because it's like, "Hey, I gotta get to work today." Is basically
Right.
what that means,
Yeah.
and all that. Cool. Well, do you wanna shout out your business and your socials real quick?
Yeah,
And
man. Hey, you can once again, Zachary Thomas, and you can find me at Boxercise at the CincinnatiTrainer.com.
all right. Social medias?
And so yeah, Boxercise at the CincinnatiTrainer.com. That's my email.
Okay.
And then
Okay. Well, email them.
email me guys. Then you can go to my the CincinnatiTrainer.com. So
Mhm.
www.thecincinnatitrainer.com. That's my website right there.
Okay.
And then you have my social media out there at Cincy Boxercise for my Instagram, and then we got Cincinnati Trainer for my Facebook.
All
So you
right.
can follow me on them platform. Be sure to get at me.
Mhm.
I don't hold my number back. You can call me directly,
Yeah.
513-275-9962. And hey, we can set up some Boxercise. Train like the pros without taking the blows.
I love it. Train like the pros without taking the blows. That's a good motto. I think I need a motto for my podcast, but I guess it's the question of what keeps you rolling forward. But
Wop.
yeah, that, that's awesome. Okay, anything else that you want to share with the with everybody, or anything else that you want to discuss?
Hey, man, you guys out there, just believe in yourselves, do the right thing, be patient, and your time will come.
Awesome. Zach, I thoroughly enjoyed this podcast. I don't know you horribly well. Like, we've played chess together and had conversations here and there, but we've never had anything deep like this. And
Yeah,
dude, I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your experience and your journey so far. And I wish you the best of luck in the future. And of course, I'll keep seeing you until you buy that facility on your own. So,
definitely, man. Hey,
uh,
I appreciate you having me, man. Thanks a lot. And I look forward to doing this again with you, man. This was really fun, man.
heck
Appreciate
yeah.
the opportunity.
Yeah, it was definitely a blast. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my outro. Thank you everyone for joining us today on the Rolling Forward podcast. If you like what you heard, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. I want to hear what keeps you rolling forward. My next T-shirt idea or something you heard today that stuck with you. I'm for it all. Leave it in the comments. I definitely want to hear from you, or even a question you'd like to ask Zach for the next time he's on the show and all that. If you want to see more T-shirts like the one I'm wearing, you can find my designs over at rollingforward.printful.me. And if you've got a story worth sharing and fits the theme of what we're doing here, I'd love to hear from you. You could be my next guest. Until next time, keep rolling forward. Thanks, everyone.